Hey everyone, how are y'all? Tracy, how are you? Hey Obsessed for Disneyland, how are you? Pokey Dots, how are you tonight? Alright, I'm still trying to keep up with this Michigan State University stuff that's going on. White Widow Baby and Sybil, how are y'all? Okay. Still trying to see. Everybody on Twitter is saying that he unalived himself, so I'm doing good, White Widow Baby. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with the world. Military shooting stuff down. We've got two train derailments for whatever reasons. Hey, Moonvale, how are you? Now the school shooting. It's crazy. All right. Hey, Big Al, how are you? So Big Al, they had an active shooter at Michigan State University a few minutes ago, and he ended up unaliving himself. Hey, Heather, how are you? Polka Dot, they had one in Ohio a few days ago, and then another one in Texas. And the last I seen, there was three people that died from the shooting, and then there was five in the hospital, and some of them were in critical condition. See, as a parent, how do we in good conscience send our children to college these days? Brooklyn, how are you? Obsessed for Disneyland? It doesn't make any sense. Like these kids go to school to get a degree and an education and all that, and then like you have to worry about people coming in and shooting the place up or doing what happened like in Idaho. It's just crazy. Okay, I'm just answering something back. Gas great. It starts with an earthquake, birds and snakes, aeroplanes, and many birds not afraid. Hey Izzy, how are you? Yeah, it's just been some crazy stuff going on. I mean, this dude goes in, shoots up the place. There was like multiple places at the college that he went into. Okay, so it says the latest breaking news, at least three people have died after the shooting. Still five are injured. Stone Gator, how are you? Okay, the fear of height. Yeah. What? Okay. Oh my gosh, y'all. Vapor, how are you? Three dead, five injured. Speculated suspect. Yeah, Stone Gator. I think they've done confirmed it. It's all over Twitter, and it come across the scanner that it was the guy had that unalived himself. they were telling over the scanner what he was wearing, and it matched what the shooter had on. Seventh row, how are you? Yeah, Izzy, this one was at Michigan State University. It started, they said they did a press conference at 11 o'clock Eastern time. Supposed to be doing another one at 12 a.m. But they said that it started like at 8:18 in one part of it, and then it moved to the Student Union building. 3 they have confirmed has passed away. There's still 5 that's in the hospital. Some of those 5 have uh, they're listed in critical condition. So it's been crazy. Hey Jan, how are you? Dan Davis, how are you? See, my mom warned me about Friday the 13th, but she never told me about Monday the 13th. Bryan R, how are you? And there's videos all over Twitter. Some of the students were doing that. There was one that showed this guy that looked just like the active shooter was walking in front of their buildings out on the sidewalk. And, you could hear the kids in the video. They were scared, wanting to put stuff in front of their doors, um, to make sure he doesn't get into their rooms and all that. Hey Jerry, how are you? None that I've heard as of right now, Izzy. Like I said, it started at 8:18 and just ended a few minutes ago. It came across the scanner that he had unalived himself. So hold on just a second. All right. Okay, let me know when you're ready for current events chat on your other channel. I would love to panel on that. Okay. I do need to start working on my other channel. Big Al, would you like to come up now? And Judy, how are you? Okay. Was Michelle, whenever I watched the press conference that they had at 11, they only said there was only one shooter. And when I was watching, I was bouncing back and forth between Pascal's and Icket Mills, and you could hear people calling in to 911, and it was coming across the scanner that there was bombs in the buildings and all that. And then whenever they did the press conference, they were saying that there was a lot of information that was misinformation that was coming out. Uh, Not to believe any of it, to only go by what they're putting on Twitter. So if I go to Twitter real quick, yeah, I gotta think here for a second. Michigan State University. Andrew, how are you? Hey there, Krista, how are you? Hey B, how are you tonight? I'm trying to see. They even had this other dude, and they were trying to say that it was him, and kind of find out that dude, it wasn't even him. That he was over in Massachusetts, and they had it going all over Twitter and was sending stuff to the police there in Michigan saying that he was the shooter because he put up some tweet about MSU and millions of people had to die and all this and that, and kind of found out it wasn't even that guy. Okay. I'm just trying to get Michigan State University. I'm trying to find Michigan State University stuff. Okay. And B, you're very welcome. Just making sure I haven't missed anybody. Sudi, how are you? Big false red flags flying over the place. All right. Let me see if I can find it. Well, shit. Well, I'll have to see if I can find it because I was wanting to look at what Michigan State had put out. I had to pull it up on my computer. Sudi, they had an active shooter just a little while ago at Michigan State University. Well, it started about 8:18 Eastern time. Is Alley Cattail's block? Not that I know of. What little baby? I would have to go into my thing and look. I can look in just a second though. Let me pull up. Let me go look real quick. I don't remember her being blocked. Heather says she is blocked and doesn't know why. Unless it was done by accident. That's the only thing I can think. She just messaged me, says she has been for a few days. Okay, hold on one second. Let me go look. Yeah, it could have been by accident if she is, but let me check real quick. Okay, give me just a second. I'm just going through my block list now. All right, y'all. Let's see here. Because I don't think she's ever done anything wrong in here that I can think of. Oh my god, I actually have somebody called Papa Kohberger on my list. Let's see. I don't see. Oh, yes, she is right here. Ellie Cattails. Okay, I have removed her. Hold on just one second, y'all. Okay, so I've got her unblocked. It must have been Alley Cats. I am sorry, honey. It had to have been done by accident. Okay. All right, let me get out of my studio now and get back to Twitter. RW, how are you? Hey Tara, how are you? Kohberger had an infatuation with Kaylee, could have believed intimacy that wasn't happening, aspect rejection, interpersonal. All right. Big Al, I'm trying to find uh, MSU, and I know that I followed them, but I wanted to find the police one. That's the one I was wanting to find. Okay. Because they ain't even posted anything. I'll pull it up where y'all can see it too. Yeah, Michigan State actually has a police department. They have an MSU Police and Public Safety. And this was the suspect. But that was last time they posted was 58 minutes ago. So I'm still waiting for them to confirm that he did unalive himself. Okay, that was an hour ago, because that was where they were just putting out the updates. This is MSU. What is this? Let me pull this one up. Okay, so 2/13/2023 at 11:33, which would have been 10:33 my time. Okay, there's an active shooter. Okay, so that's not. I wish they would have updated it. Alley Cat, you're very welcome, honey. See, they haven't even updated it since 11:33. Actively shooting. Okay, so yeah, that they haven't posted anything either, so I'm just gonna keep up with it. I was thinking maybe they would have posted an update, but I'll have to keep up with it. Okay, and RW, if you're gonna come in my chat and you're gonna be rude to people, then you're not gonna get to stay in here. I'm just letting you know that now. Okay, so the Chris said they moved the conference back. I know they were supposed to have it at 12 o'clock Eastern time, which would have been 11 my time. Yeah, Judy, that's what they're saying. Police started closing in on him, and he unalived himself. I'm sure they have a campus app. I bet you they updated the app itself before the public pages. Let's see. Oh my God, y'all. I always have the Michigan. Oh, do we need to set a rat trap, y'all? Jelly Bean, how are you? All right, so there was an alert. Let's see what time this was. So 12:05 a.m. on the 14th of February, MSU Police and Public Safety are doing everything they can to ensure the safety of our campus. They're urging people to continue sheltering in place. And they're saying if you're not on the campus, please do not come to the campus. And everything's going to be canceled on the campus, classes, sports activities, and all that for the next 48 hours. So they still haven't updated it. to confirm if he did in fact unalive himself, but it came across the scanner. The person that had unalived himself had the same clothes that was matching what the suspect was wearing. Never say anything. I'm sorry. But this guy's been everywhere. Just block him. He's no good. Yeah, but if he keeps coming in here doing that, um, he's gonna be blocked. I'm not gonna put up with that. Hey JB, how are you? Sean, how are you? Hey Stevie. Sean, they're saying that he has unalived himself. Like it happened just right as I was going live. It started hitting all over Twitter, and I was listening to the Pascal show, and it had actually came across the scanner that he did. So she turned her. Hey Aura, how are you? So just keep all the people at Michigan State University in your prayers. They're saying that there has been 3 people now that has died, still 5 in the hospital. Some of those 5 are in critical condition. So just keep all of them and their families in your prayers. And it says here, MSU police officers on scanner report the Michigan State University active shooter suspect is dead by unaliving. Body fits description. Channel 2 Detroit confirms at 12:11 a.m. Let's see. Fox 2 Detroit. Let me just pull back up Twitter. That way it'd be a lot easier. But for sure, keep them in your prayers. Them, their families, and all that, because that's a shame. Okay. Let's see. This is on. Oh my gosh, why is it not updating? Okay, so it's what? See, somehow reason it looks different on my dang phone than it does on here. So it'd be too hard to try to find. But they're saying that it's been confirmed that he did. Only block because I have a dick. Wait. Hold on. Let me tell you something. No, see, you gotta go. Damn it, Sybil got him. Don't you dare come in here and call any female in my chat that. I guess it's because you think you got a dick that you know everything. Sorry, dude, but you don't. And I don't drink wine, so you all wrong. I want to say, Michelle, that I seen where 9mm, I believe. Hey, Miss Kelly, I had left a comment under one of my videos. It said that she was starting to get better and she would be back. I need to email her and check on her and see how she's doing. I can't believe he come in here and said that. Hey, Yorkie Mama, how are you? And happy Valentine's to everybody. Even though it's not the 14th here yet, but Like he literally, I was trying to hurry up and block him because of what he said, and Crime Crazy beat me to him. Yeah, he accused me of drinking wine and trying to sell him smarts. Sorry, but I don't drink wine. Miss Kelly, it was some dude named RW. Oh, Vapor, you just missed it. He come in calling all the women in here the C word and accused me of drinking wine and trying to sound smart. Update on CNN. Okay, let me go to CNN before I pull this stuff up then. Let's see what they got. I did get my mom flowers and a squishmallow for Valentine's Day. Let's see. This is. Please say they're searching. Okay, so on this one, they're still searching for him. So I'll wait until it updates. But I thought the RW dude was blocked once before. Did you ask him if he checked his pockets for his manners? No, he didn't have no manners, no morals. He's not gonna come in my chat calling women that either. Yeah, Heather, I seen when they had confirmed it on Twitter. It was oh, who did I say a second ago? I gotta go back and find it now. It was one of the news stations. Oh, where did I see that? But one of the news stations had confirmed that he did. And then there was another one that confirmed that it was 3 that has passed and 5 injured. Okay. All right. And then Bryan Inton did post 1 minute ago. Police at Michigan State University say that the suspect is dead from self-inflicted wound. So, yeah, Stone Gator. I was bouncing between Pascal's show. Well, Troll was between his show and Icket Mills. He was going back and forth. I was trying to go through stuff on my phone. Okay, let me get my stuff pulled up here for Bryan. All right. So I still have a lot of questions. Oh shit! Wait, we got to stop this. I can't play right now. Okay, want to do so stuff like that. I heard it's me and Cobra have a small mine package. Yeah, Alley Cat. He was for sure. He was upset. He was compensating for something. Um, Look what the sun don't shine. He now's in orbit around the Earth. Don't plan on seeing him back around. So anyway, there's been a question going around if Bryan was ever offered the job with the police department that he had actually applied for, didn't the whole interview thing and all that. Now the department is saying, hold on, yeah, this stuff is going so slow tonight for some reason. I'm gonna pull this up on my phone. Can you please? Yeah, Stone Gator. Once I get done with all my Bryan stuff, I can go back and find it and play it. Probably drive a lifted truck to make up for. So anyway, how did I get this from? Oh, the Independent. There is no documentation of Bryan being offered the job. So it says the Washington State Police Department that interviewed Bryan Kohberger for an internship months before the Idaho murders has no documentation regarding whether he was offered the position. So the Independent filed a public records request with the Pullman Police Department earlier this year asking for any documents relating to Mr. Kohberger's application for the research assistantship for public safety position. So if they ain't got no documentation, then he didn't get the job. And I know there was a lot of people that was wondering about it, if he was offered the job. I think there was like 4 people that had actually interviewed for it. So apparently he didn't get it. Says one of the goals of the request was to determine whether Mr. Kohberger had been offered the position, as the department had previously declined to answer that question. A public records officer responded to the request with 10 documents on Friday, but with a major caveat. The Pullman Police Department does not have any documentation regarding whether or not Mr. Kohberger was chosen for the internship position, the officer stated in an email. So how can you not have documentation to show if he was offered the job or not? Oh wow, so now it's 4 confirmed deceased? Oh wow. So they know that he came in and did the interview. Well, he didn't go in and do it. He did it over the, it was an online interview. Because we seen the email that he wrote to the police chief there. And the police chief actually wrote him back. So we know he applied for the position. He did the interview for the position, but yet they have no documentation showing if he was offered the position or not. So it says Mr. Kohberger, 28, is facing 4 murder charges in the brutal stabbings of Madison, Kaylee, Xana, and Ethan in an off-campus rental home in Moscow, Idaho on November 13th. He was arrested in Pennsylvania on December the 30th, now being held behind bars in Idaho ahead of his June preliminary hearing. The affidavit for Mr. Kohberger's arrest revealed that he had applied for an internship with the Pullman Police Department, which has played a significant role in investigating the murder case. Last month, emails between Mr. Kohberger and the then chief of Pullman Police Department, Gary Jenkins, showed a brief exchange about the assistantship position for which Mr. Kohberger had applied last April. The documents turned over to the Independent last week shows Mr. Kohberger was one out of 4 applicants for the job. Jessica Lynn, how are you? Because it's a gag order or because it's illegal to share school records, the citizenship would be a part of his schooling. So, yeah, it would be. Okay, I get what you're saying. I thought so. But if they can turn over the papers, the documents on it, and come out and say that they don't have any documents showing that he was offered the job, that's pretty much saying that they didn't offer it to him. If they would have offered it to him, it seems like they would have had documentation for it. So the applicants were informed on August the 22nd whether they were selected for the role, which was created to help support Pullman PD through data management and analysis. Mr. Jenkins, who no longer works for the department, told the Independent that he had been advised not to comment on the matter when contacted on Monday. Although there is reportedly no email trail on Mr. Kohberger's job offer or rejection by the department, the PhD criminology student at WSU sent an email to Mr. Jenkins following an approximately 45-minute online interview. Hey, Dreamcatcher, how are you? Mr. Kohberger wrote that it was a great pleasure to meet with you today and share his thoughts and excitement. Mr. Jenkins replied that it was great to meet and talk with you as well. the internship had previously mentioned by law enforcement in the affidavit for Mr. Kohberger's arrest released on January the 5th, and it stated that Mr. Kohberger had written an essay that he had interest in assisting rural law enforcement agencies with how to better collect and analyze technological data in a public safety operations. Around the same time that he applied to the internship, Mr. Kohberger also carried out a research project on how to understand emotions and psychological traits influence decision making when committing a crime. And he reached out to Redditors with a chilling survey resurfacing after his December 30th arrest, which is all the infamous questions about how did you feel when you were doing it, uh, like how did you approach your victim, and all this and that. So, in particular, the study seeks to understand the story behind your most recent criminal offense with an emphasis on your thoughts and feelings throughout your experience, the post said. Mr. Kohberger applied to the position at Pullman PD before starting his first semester at WSU last fall. He went on to work as a teaching assistant in the criminology department in August as part of his graduate program. It has since emerged that within a month, he was already under investigation by the university because of behavioral problems and a sexist attitude towards women, and this is according to News Nation. Frankie, how are you? And welcome to the channel. Hey, Petey, how are you? All right, so the outlet obtained a detailed timeline of his issues in the department, revealing that Mr. Kohberger was warned multiple times about his behavior and was brought into several meetings with professors due to their concerns. His attitude towards women was cited as a key concern, with the criminal justice student allegedly being rude to women, grading the women that he taught differently to the men, and having a sexist attitude towards females that he interacted with at school. In his brief 4-month stint as a teaching assistant, Mr. Kohberger also reportedly got into multiple altercations with one of the professors, which was Professor John Snyder. On December the 19th, just 11 days before his arrest, Mr. Kohberger was ultimately fired from the WSU teaching post, reported by News Nation. The suspect, now facing the death penalty for 4 counts of murder, was linked to the murders through DNA found on a knife sheath left behind at the crime scene, cell phone data, and surveillance video of what prosecutors believe to be his white Hyundai Elantra leaving the scene after the slaves. One of the victim's surviving roommates was also able to partially describe the killer to investigators after she came face to face with him in the aftermath of the murders. I still have questions about that. Musical, how are you? Hey, Susan, how are you? Um, there's somebody's line when it comes to dealing in law enforcement are these sources that are coming out telling all this. But I'm gonna go over that in just a minute. All right, so in January, police in Washington unsealed the search warrants for Mr. Kohberger's apartment in Pullman and his office at Washington State University. The searches were carried out on the same day that he was taken into police custody in Pennsylvania. The unsealed documents revealed that investigators seized a string of items from his home, including possible human and animal hair strands, a disposable glove, items with red and brown stains, and a computer. The murder weapon, a fixed blade knife, was not recovered during the searches and is still unclear where it may be. Mr. Kohberger is next scheduled to appear in court on June the 26th for the preliminary hearing. But there is another article that is out when it's talking about the stuff that he was accused of and all that while he was at school. Not only did he have issues with like grading his students, getting into altercations with the Professor Snyder, but apparently there was some female students at the college that actually made complaints against him. One female student said that he followed her out to her car, and then another female student said that he made her feel uncomfortable. And allegedly, the uh, the college investigated it, and in the end, they didn't find any wrongdoing on Bryan's part. Um, I don't know what he said to the female student when he followed her out to her car and all this and that, but she had allegedly turned him in for that. I think they would have known of his sexism or defiant behavior yet. So let's see. So April, June, July, August, September. So he started in August, right? At the college. So yeah, that was like 4 months before he ever started at the college when he did the application and all that. So it was supposed to start August the 22nd, the position. But for whatever reason, they must not have offered it to him. My guardian angels, how are you? Okay, not a wine drinker. Interesting. My guess would be annoyingly tasty mixed drinks with extra large ice cubes or steep cold brew iced tea. I'm on the fence. Tasty mixed drinks. Stevie, are you talking about me? It would for sure be iced tea. Okay, I've done a lot of research on what he'd have access to. It's a lot of cameras. WSU had a huge grant for the program, access to a lot of data. I could probably make a video on all of it. You know, Alley Cat, they do have, I forgot what the department is called, but it's in the criminology department. But it's like a lab that they have there where they have access to some of the police departments from that area, their body cam footage and everything else. Now, Moscow Police Department say that he doesn't have access to theirs because they don't share their body cam footage with WSU. And WSU is saying that he did not have access to that lab. So he wouldn't have had access to it. I don't think that is necessarily true. I think he probably could have had access to it or knew somebody who had access to it. I do know that Whitcomb, though, they're wanting to know if they can release a 911 call. And they're actually wanting clarification from the judge, Megan Marshall, on the gag order if they can release the 911 call to everybody who's put in a request for it. Tammy C, how are you? See what a night with breaking news at the MSU shooting that's getting bad for college. It's Tammy, that's a whole bad situation right there. But many prayers go out to all those students. And there is now 4 deceased. I believe somebody said there was a 4th one that has been confirmed. Um, I don't know if it was one of the 5 that was in the hospital, because there was 5 taken to the hospital as well. So I don't know if it was one of those or if it was another student that maybe they had found on the college. And then the shooter also. So it's just a sad situation all the way around. Just curious, how many think Bryan going on a killing spree, killing 4 already, possibly seen him, which may have killed him. Do you think he would let the last 2 live if they had seen him? Frankie, I think I don't understand why he let Dylan, uh, why he didn't hurt her. Hey, Che, how are you? If she's standing in the doorway of her bedroom and she's in a frozen state of shock. Like I said a minute ago, I do have questions about that. Apparently, there is somebody lying somewhere, and it's either going to be law enforcement, it's going to be Dylan, or it's going to be these sources that are coming out claiming that they're close to Dylan. Um, but on another note, we all have heard about Bryan having the visual snow, and this is, I keep going back to this, it may be a reason, and I'm not saying that it is a reason, but just maybe a reason why he didn't go after Dylan. Um, and I forgot now who it was. I said the channel the other night, but I can't remember who it was that put the video out. But they were talking about visual snow and like how they get like these black spots in their peripheral vision. Um, and Bryan had complained about his being worse on his left eye. Well, he could have possibly had the black spots in his peripheral vision in that left eye. And as he's walking out past Dylan, she would have been on his left side, and it could have blinded him, sort of speak, as he's walking through there, and he that might have kept him from seeing her. But hey, Sharon, how are you? Um, I was going back over some stuff, thinking about some different things, watching a couple of other people's videos, and it's just it's still not adding up, because you have the police. Okay, so let me get back to the beginning. So whenever this first happened, police are called out there. Detectives come out about 4 o'clock. Coroner comes out at what, like 5 something. Um, Obviously, Dylan and Bethany are there. There's other kids there. Well, in the PCA, it says that they interviewed Jack Decor, Kaylee's ex, on November the 13th. See, my opinion is still the same, that he was watching from one of the steps right before Dylan's room and not looking at the door. I think his attention was on that step. It could have been, and he just didn't see her. Hey, Laughing Stock, how are you? Um, so anyway, so they interviewed Jack Decor. He doesn't even live in the house, but it says that they interviewed him um, on November the 13th, and they was talking about that he had confirmed that him and Kaylee had shared Murphy and all this and that. So if he doesn't even live in the house and he's just an ex-boyfriend of a victim, and they interview him that day, more than likely they also talked to Dylan and Bethany the same exact day. Um, I'm pretty sure that those interviews were probably recorded, whether it be video or just audio. Either way, I'm pretty sure they would have been recorded. So if Dylan tells them just the facts, how are you? Um, but even if he didn't see Dylan, she saw him and did nothing. Exactly. And I have a huge problem with that too. That for whatever reason it was, nothing was done for 8 hours. So anyway, they interview her. They would either had to have recorded it by audio or just by video. I'm wondering if Dylan told them that day about her seeing him, about all these different things that she heard, and that's what they put in. Hey Evie, how are you? And that's what they put in the affidavit, in the PCA. Because when it goes to court, then it's going to get, the affidavit is going to get pulled up, and it's going to get talked about. And there's going to be questions about it. Hip to my trip, how are you? And it's going to be questioned if that's where they got their information from. I'm sure everybody, yeah, I'm sure they were. I'm sure all of them were interviewed that day. And we don't know exactly how many people it was. They never have came out. I've heard 5. I've heard more than that. I don't know. But you have police who have came out from the very beginning and said that Dylan and Bethany were on the first floor. They were both asleep. There was even in one of the press conferences where they got home at 1 o'clock, went to sleep, and didn't wake up until or later in the morning. And that's whenever they found the victims, and they called 911. So I still don't believe her story 1 minute. If she didn't hear anything, the next she hears screaming. Exactly. So we know that police have put out multiple different stories. They said that the girls were out in a community separately, talking about Dylan and Bethany still, that they were out in the community that night separately, but they both ended up home at 1 o'clock in the morning. I had even said that it seemed weird how they were not together, but it seemed weird how they both ended up back home at 1 o'clock. And they were home before the other 4. Then it comes out, there's a threat, there's not a threat, it was a target, it wasn't a target, community shouldn't be worried, yeah, they should be. Like, it's just all these different things. Like, law enforcement have basically lied from the very beginning. They carried on the lie. And what makes it worse is if everything that's in that probable cause affidavit is what was told on that day by Dylan and Bethany, then police kept lying, and that's going to make them look bad. So then we have, so once the probable cause comes out, it says Dylan's on the second floor. Bethany sees Xana and Ethan at the frat house from 9 o'clock to 1:45 in the morning. So if that's the case, she couldn't have been home at 1 o'clock. But now you got all these sources coming out saying something completely different. Dylan didn't say all that. Dylan, um, she thought that the sounds that she heard was a party going on and all this and that. So somewhere, PCA wasn't written. Yes, right. I understand that, Sophia. But the thing is, though, they would have had to have written it off of based off of what they were told by witnesses, Dylan and Bethany. And I don't think that you can do a PCA and put stuff in there that's not true in order to obtain an arrest warrant. But the thing is, somebody's got to be lying because we're getting 3 or 4 different stories. And it's always changing. And there's never a question of, or an answer of why she waited so long. First, it came out in the probable cause that she heard these noises. She seen this masked man walking through her house. She heard crying. She thought she heard Kaylee say that there's someone in the house. She sees this guy walking through her house. It scared her to a point she had to lock herself in her room. Hey, American Princess, how are you? Um, yeah, Happy Cactus. I heard about it. Um, and it scared her so bad, so she's locked in her room. Right? That's what has been coming out. Now all of a sudden, this dude comes out way before that, and then it gets brought up again here in the last few days that that's the reason, and the news people are just going crazy with it. The reason why she didn't call 911 for 8 hours has now been explained because the noises that she heard she thought was party noises. JC, how are you? See, we gotta go over the same roomy thing every night though. Can't we just wait for the chance to tell trial? I'm going over it because I still think there's lies. Somebody is lying somewhere. AC, I didn't say that that's what it said in the PCA. I said that that's what the police said at the very beginning. So I'm not misquoting anything. See, I don't understand how Dylan noticed his bushy eyebrows but no blood on his face mask. I would figure probably the mask was black, so it's going to be hard to see blood on it, which is understandable. Um, it just seems like there would probably be blood on his face. Let's see, I'm sure she gave them a story on the day, and then when she got a lawyer, she gave them. Yeah, that's probably when she changed her stories. Whenever she got the attorney. Happy Cactus, how are you doing? Okay, they were not home at 1 a.m. They were home at 1:45. You're mis. AC, obviously you're not listening to me. From the very beginning, the police said that Dylan and Bethany, and I'm going to say it slow so you understand me. From the beginning, we were told that Dylan and Bethany were in the community out separately. And they both returned home at 1 a.m. Prosser Gang, how are you? So how am I misquoting the PCA? People literally don't listen. See, did you guys hear about the ministry? Yes, Prosser Gang, I heard about it. 3 did. They did say, though, somebody a minute ago said that it been confirmed that there was a 4th one who had passed away. I'm sure her lawyer would tell her to be completely honest. Yeah. Because I want to believe the PCA because, like I said, I know that they can't take the PCA and put misinformation in it in order to obtain an arrest warrant. Because if that happens, and like I said, more than likely the interviews are recorded, you put two and two together and you can see if the PCA goes along with what she put in the interview. But then you've got these other people coming out saying something completely different that Dylan told them. So where is all this that Dylan, we know that the law enforcement was lying at the beginning. They pretty much lied all the way up until the PCA came out. Still go back to Lily Todd Corner's report. I cannot forget that. The way she describes everything is horrific. I just watched the last new update, but maybe no telling how bad. Prosser Gang, I did hear that there was 5 in the hospital and that they said that some of them were in critical condition. And then a few minutes ago, someone said that there was a 4th one that had passed, but I don't know if it was one of the 5 that was in the hospital or if it was somebody else that they had found. But they can do that. They can't lie. Yeah, they can lie, but they're not going to lie in order to get an arrest warrant. They're not going to lie on the PCA just to get an arrest warrant. But they can lie to the public about stuff and all that. I get that. But the point is, they've been lying from the very beginning. If they knew from the beginning, or even after Dylan gets an attorney, that she was on the 2nd floor, then why did they keep going with that information? Why not come out and change it? If they're going to put it in the probable cause, why not change it? Why not let the public know that they put out the wrong information? But instead, they kept going with it until the probable cause came out. And then everybody has questions about, well, they kept telling us Dylan was on the 1st floor and that they slept through the whole thing. They didn't hear anything. They didn't wake up until later on in the morning. I mean, honestly, that's why I was asking, is law enforcement lying? Is Dylan lying? Or is these sources that are all of a sudden coming out, are they lying? Because the sources are saying that Dylan didn't have PTSD. She wasn't scared that night. That the noises she heard, she thought was a party going on. Like all these different things, and it's contradicting what the probable cause is saying. And I'm still wondering if Bethany was ever home that night. I don't know. It just seems it's crazy. Sources are lying. I mean, if I had to choose, that's probably who I would go with. It's the sources. Hold on, let me grab my notes here real quick. She didn't have PTSD before. She has it now. Yeah. Source is a kid, basically. Don't believe. Now, the one dude that came out and was saying about his girlfriend or fiance or whatever she was being in her inner circle, like super close to her. He just, I don't know. That dude sounded. He didn't sound very credible. But these other sources that are coming out, we have no idea who they are, where they're even coming from. See, I do like that. Bethany has not said a word in awaiting trial. I'm still wondering, though, if she was at home that night or if she stayed somewhere else. And Prosser Gang, that's what I was thinking, because his attorney's going to get the interviews. Like I said, the recording, whether it's video or audio. She's going to compare it to the probable cause. And if they're not the same, then that's going to be bad for the state. See, I do believe Bethany is the one in need of the protection more so than Dylan. I still think Bethany is going to be key. Reba, how are you? I'm falling for like 3 weeks now because you're up and I am. I'm a paramedic, but I've researched this a lot, but they never really stated where the two was. Hey, hold on, y'all. I can barely see tonight for some reason. Wait, Reba, you're talking about Dylan and Bethany? Is that who you're talking about? I wonder how many bone tugs you can hit in 8 hours. Hey, D22, how are you? Well, the only thing that I've heard was that Dylan was in the second floor bedroom. They didn't say where they were at. Well, they never have said where Dylan was at earlier that night when she was out in just, she was out in the community. It was said in the PCA, though, that Bethany did see Ethan and Xana at the frat house that night. Because I almost worked at city as a medic, so I follow this from day one. I know how secluded the community is. Killer. So, Allie, do you think that Bryan Kohberger is the one who actually did this? They even have robots that deliver the DoorDash food. Oh yeah, I'm just going back through my comments real quick because when I was trying to read the other comment, it jumped up. Okay, I think we're gonna find out during trial that Dylan her room and went to B and when B got home. I don't know, maybe Bethany came home when Ethan and Xana did. And that's how she knew that they were at the frat house from 9 to 1:45. Because if Bethany would have got home at 1 o'clock, like they said in the beginning, then there's no way she would have known that they were still at the frat house until 1:45 because they could have left early and went somewhere else before they came home. Okay, so I know this is not good. This is going to seem like it's coming from left field, but what if Bethany was not home yet and seen someone leaving the house while she. I mean, honestly, I'm curious, like I said, to know if she was even home that night at all. She could have stayed the night, at the frat house of one of the guys. She could have went home with a friend of hers or anything that night. And she didn't come home until right before the 911 call was made. I do think he's likely the part I have questions about whether he had an accomplice or conspirator or accessory after the fact. All right, Stone Gator, have a good night. Now, Allie, I do think that he had help. I do think that there was someone else driving that car that night. But I mean, it could be possible that, like I said, maybe Bethany came home with them at 1:45. Maybe she didn't come home until later. Maybe she didn't come home at all that night. Alpha David reads as if she started out in her room yet didn't give any other details. Yeah, because they said that originally she fell asleep in her room. Trying to be defense attorneys are getting on my nerves. I worked in the law office for years. You don't know what shit they're talking about. See, the Bethany not being home thing just started happening. Like, I don't, I have questions about Bethany for real. Because in the very beginning, I never suspected anything bad about it, which I still don't really think anything bad about her. But it was everything was Dylan this and Dylan that. Let's see, but could you imagine she placed him leaving the house, seeing him get in the car, knife and all? They didn't need her statement to place him there for the affidavit. No, because well, I mean, if she would have seen him, car and everything, but Dylan seen him in the house, and Dylan's story or description, basically clothes, bushy eyebrows, and Bethany's description of what he was wearing would have matched, and yeah, it would have made sense to just use Dylan's because it put him in the house. Did anyone see that DM's dad drives a white truck? I don't know. I didn't know that her dad drove a white truck, but there. I mean, people have came out and said that her dad was the the DA from Coeur d'Alene. Like, so I don't know. We have background checks, I believe, on her family, but I don't think there was anything in about their what their vehicles were and all that. If there is, I'll have to go back and look. Let's see, I think Bryan had help. I do too. I think that he had help planning it. Maybe not the actual events that happened inside the house, but I think that he did have help. To me, I'm more concerned about another guy accomplice and the roomies were so because they couldn't choose to commit this crime. A lot of people have brought up, about the Brant guy. Could he have possibly helped? And I've seen where some people have even suggested that maybe Bryan was the one that uh, had him swatted and all this and that. Like, people are coming up with some crazy things. But I'm curious to know whether he could have possibly helped or not. All right. So Dylan's dad drives a 2000 Ford Expedition. Thank you, Sybil. Tammy, I just can't wait for the trial to get here. Honestly. Okay, when he was seen cleaning his car out, he was focused on the driver's side. They didn't say. They just said that Angie that they had watched him clean every inch of it. Still believe he wouldn't have trusted him. I mean, maybe he was trying to get it down to a certain time limit, and the only way he could have done it without like getting blood everywhere, like as far as like the car and stuff like that, because he would have. I don't know. It's just for some odd reason I have a funny feeling about Dylan. Not saying that she had anything to do with the actual crime. I don't understand why she didn't call police, or why there's multiple stories out, or why police have said from the beginning that both the girls were on the first floor when they wasn't. Um, and I just have this feeling that he had help in whatever part of it, and I could be completely wrong, but just whatever part of this whole thing. Because someone explained the theory of the white truck and DM's dad. So I forgot now who it was that brought it up, but whoever it was, are y'all thinking that maybe her dad was the one driving the white truck that was in the video of Kaylee and Maddie and Hoodie Guy? Because there's been a lot brought up about the white truck too. And there's a white truck that's at a trailer um, on the path that they're saying that Bryan took on his way home early that morning and all this and that. Okay, there was a white truck that pulled out and was following the girls when they was walking that night. Well, I thought in the video it just showed the truck pulling, like passing them and pulling into a parking lot. Okay, wait, is there a taco in chat? Okay, I don't believe he had a time frame. I believe he planned on killing everyone in the house, but on the second floor he ran into residents and felt he needed to get out. So, Vapor, you think he was going for without Ethan because Ethan didn't live there, but just like uh, all the girls, all five of the girls. There are two white pickups on Google Earth and Sigma Car parking lot. Yeah, there's. I do remember seeing several white trucks. Um, I don't remember if any of them looked like the white truck that was on the video with "Hey Annie, how are you?" Um, I don't remember any of them looking like the one that was on the video with Kaylee and Maddie and the hoodie guy though. Because for the longest, I figured because where the truck pulls in at on the video, it goes by them slow, which did seem a little weird, but it was in town. Um, and then it pulls down in a parking lot beside some other cars. I figured maybe there was a bar there or something like that, or a restaurant that was still open, and they were fixing to get ready to close, and they were just picking somebody up who worked there. All right, let me catch back up real quick, y'all. And I don't think anybody was suggesting that Dylan's dad was involved. Annie. Yeah, I think he wanted to kill all of them. I think he felt. Shoot, hold on, I gotta stop the chat now. I think he felt he would catch them all asleep and not get any resistance or much noise. Okay. Waddle, I think he had help. I don't know. It's just a feeling I'm getting that he possibly had help. And like I said, maybe just the planning part of it. Um, maybe having somebody drive the car for him. I just the car, like if he's been in that area around that house 12 times, like they're saying that he has, and then the way they're explaining the cars making all these turnarounds, trying to turn around in front of the house, trying to park in front of the house, and it's not able to. It seems like if he's been there 12 times stalking these girls, is what they say, and that he would have known where he could and couldn't park in front of the house or where to turn around and all that. Hey, William, how are you? I believe I read somewhere DM's has spent some time in jail for drugs. Not sure if it's real bad or so bad. My guardian angels, it does me too. It's just crazy how we've been told multiple stories. That's what's crazy. All right, let me grab this next thing because this is from the Daily Mail. This is where they're talking about Dylan hearing the the noises and thinking that it was party noises. Okay, maybe it's just me, but if I was going to do this, I wouldn't ever enlist help in any way. Well, if he would have done everything else perfectly, like not drive his own car, not bring his phone. Hey, Nora, how are you? Um, where his phone is able to be pinged and picked up and all this and that. Um, if he like leaving the sheath, whether if it was on an accident, some are saying that he planted it on purpose. Some are saying it was an accident. Like if he went and did all of that, then I could be like, yeah, this dude, he did it on his own. He didn't want no help. But he's made several mistakes. Why not go ahead and get somebody to help him out too? And add that to the mistakes of stuff that he's done. see, there are so many people that don't have a problem with Ellie telling all those different stories. I just don't understand why they did it. It would have been different in the very beginning if they would come out and said, "Okay, Dylan and Bethany were on the first floor. They slept through the whole thing. Didn't wake up until later the next morning." Because during that time, people were having an issue of why they slept so long. Talking about why did they sleep till dinner that day? Like there was people that was in chat during that time that was saying it, and I was like, well, they were up partying all night. Like I was actually, you know, defending them in a way because they're not teenagers, they're college students. They were out partying. It's not a big deal. It was Sunday. They slept. Understandable. But then people come out and or please keep on with the same story until the probable cause comes out. School. Dylan's parents live in Boise. Doubt he was driving around Moscow that night. Yeah, I don't think her dad was anywhere around or had anything to do with it or anything like that. Sybil, are y'all getting bad storms down there? Jody is cool. How are you? Okay, Ian Stickwalker, maybe heroin buddy, but doubt murder buddy. I think Enon is just a creepy neighbor who happened to wander into his neighbor's house party one night. Okay, just about over. Okay. But anyway, what I was saying, if they would have came out in the beginning and said that the girls were both asleep on the first floor and they slept through the whole thing, and then they would have came out not long after that and been like, okay, we had given out the wrong information. Bethany was on the first floor, but Dylan was actually on the second floor. It would have been, they're kind of like trying to fix some of their lies, but there was no reason for them to continue on with the lie that they were both on the first floor and both slept through the whole thing. And Vivian, how are you? Okay, so it says surviving roommate who didn't call cops for 8 hours after the Idaho killing thought the noise she heard at 4 a.m. was partying, and the black-clad killer who walked, or I guess mistyped this here, walked past her was a guest. All right, so and I gotta scoot this over. Sophia, I was trying to read your comment before I didn't get to read it in time. All right, so it says the survivor of the University of Idaho killings allegedly believed the sounds of the four of her housemates being brutally murdered were sounds from college partiers in her house. Let's see, now there's sources coming out saying that she heard screams and cries and all this and that. So no blood she thought was a ghost. That's what I'm saying, Frankie. Like it's all these different things. Okay, if the probable cause says she heard what she thought was Kaylee playing with her dog, that makes sense. Kaylee's upstairs on the third floor. We know that Will Murphy was up there. So that would have made sense that she thought she heard that. But then she hears what she thought was Kaylee also say someone's here, and she looks at her door. She doesn't see anything. That she was woke up at 4 o'clock. From Kaylee playing with the dog. But at 4 o'clock is also when Xana got her DoorDash. So it seems like if she would have gotten up right after that when she heard what she thought was Kaylee saying someone is here, and at that time she gets up, it seems like she would have seen Xana somewhere in that period of time as well, either going downstairs to get the DoorDash or coming back upstairs with the DoorDash or in the kitchen with the food or somewhere like she would have seen Xana during these 3 times that she opened her door walking around. Okay, this is a big if, but if he would have had help, the person would have needed to be just as culpable in the crime as him. I don't believe he would want to share that limelight. So you don't think that there would have been somebody to possibly help him? How do we know these are stories? Okay, so Allie, what I'm talking, are you talking? Which one are you talking about? The article I pulled up, or what I'm talking about? Because what I'm talking about right now is the PCA. What I was talking about, like with her getting woke up and all this. It seems like there's somewhere in there, because Xana is also up. Like she's up walking around in the house. So I'm wondering like if they would have possibly met at some, or not met, but Dylan would have seen Xana or opened up her door and heard more than what she's saying. Okay, let me get back to this. So it says, allegedly Dylan called out to her friends and roommates during the early morning hours. Oh yeah, and I forgot about telling them to quiet down. That was some other stuff that had came out. So allegedly she said to calm down, you're being loud. She reports yelling at around 4 a.m. in addition to I'm trying to sleep. That's what I'm saying is she's yelling at people at 4 o'clock. Xana's getting DoorDash at 4 o'clock. It seems like she would have, like her and Xana would have seen each other, or she would have knew that Xana was going downstairs getting DoorDash. Like it just, all this shit that's coming out, it's not making any sense. All right, so the college student then closed the door closed and locked the door, according to one report in the New York Post. After hearing some loud noises that night, Mortensen opened up her door again, saw accused murderer Bryan Kohberger, 28, believed him to be a party goer. So Mortensen told law enforcement authorities that she had seen a strange figure dressed in black walking past her towards the back exit of the house just before 4 a.m. or just after 4 a.m. I do apologize. Authorities determined the 4 students were killed sometime between 4 and 4:25. Police would not be called to the off-campus resident for another 8 hours. Okay, I'm not even going to read through the whole thing that we've done heard a million times over. Okay, and it just says that both Mortensen and Bethany were home at the time of the murders, but left unharmed by the murder. I get why Bethany would have been. She was downstairs on the first floor. And I'm not saying that I believe all these sources. I just think it's weird how everything's coming out and these sources are claiming that Dylan has told them this. Glowbug, how are you? All right, y'all, I lost my spot. Okay, so speculators of the shocking case wondered why the surviving roommates went 8 hours between the time of the murders and when they called police. Initial details from the affidavit released in January said that one of the surviving roommates opened her door to find a man clad in black. And who, like, what teenage girl, like, talks like that? So she's found a man clad in black clothing and a mask with bushy eyebrows. The witnesses described the standing in a frozen shock phase as the man walked towards the house's back door before she locked herself in her room. New details pertaining to the grisly killings were recently revealed that confirmed that Kaylee, Maddie were killed first. Ethan and Xana were killed on the second floor of the house. Chapin was murdered in the doorway of Kernodle's room, and Kernodle apparently attempted to fight the killer by repeatedly grabbing the knife from the suspect. I don't believe that part. about Ethan being in the doorway, because if you read the probable cause, it does say that as they were going down the hallway to Xana's room, which they confirmed was her room by her driver's license and other personal stuff, that they see the first person they notice is not Ethan, Xana on the floor. And then they mentioned that Ethan was also in the room, but don't mention where he's at. Seems like if he would have been in the doorway, then they would have been like walking down the hallway. We were we noticed that it was, Ethan in the doorway. Hold on one second, y'all. I just don't understand why all the lies. That's what doesn't make sense. If she lied, and I'm not saying that Dylan had anything to do with it or Bethany, but if why lie in the beginning and then change your story? Okay, I never heard of the word clad until I got to this case. I mean, I've heard of it before, but like, what 19-year-old girl uses that word? That's just like when I was reading the article that night that said that claiming to be Bryan's sister and was talking about Bryan and her dad and all this and that, and that the battery was flat. Like, who in the U.S. says their battery on their phone is flat? It's kind of the same thing with this. What 19-year-old girl who was in college uses the word clad? Um, so I don't know if that's just something that police added. I just don't think that's her words. I honestly don't. And I don't believe that Ethan was murdered in the doorway. Like I said, it does say in the PCA um, that the cops are walking down the hallway into Xana's room to her door, and they see Xana. Like, she was the first one they seen. If he had been in the doorway, then the first person they would have seen would have been Ethan. Uh, okay, hold on, y'all. I had a text message I had to answer. Uh, let's see. Should be verbatim. Defense will eat that statement. That's what I'm saying. Like, I just, and maybe she does. Maybe she talks like that, but I don't know. I've never seen a 19-year-old college kid talk like that. Maybe they were getting rid of illegal drugs. Then after that, call the cops. Daylight disinfectant. I've seen a lot of people say that too. That maybe that's what um, she was trying to get rid of. Some people are saying that her and Bethany were trying to get their story straight. Then they said that they called, or that Dylan called over a guy that she was friends with to come check the house out because of stuff she heard. Like, there's been so many stories. Hey, King Scarlet, how are you? As first responders writing reports, we are taught to use extra description words to paint the picture in your head. So y'all are taught to use a word, Reba, like clad, and just and why would y'all like that? Seems like it would be like adding to it. Okay, it has to be, y'all. I cannot see where the shit tonight. It has to be that she said wearing, and Ellie is able to use some flexibility to reframe the language to clad. The amazing Tiff, how are you? It's because we had to paint a picture for you to imagine like you were there. Hmm. All right, now let me get caught back up here. I know this is going to be big, so they were using big words. They can change the language unless it's a quote. I don't know. I just think it's weird. Like, I still think somewhere somebody is lying. Like, do all of this. It doesn't make sense. Tad Russell, how are you? Defense could say coercion and leading a witness. I don't know. I just feel like that Ann Taylor is gonna eat this whole thing up, honestly. Like I get more than likely Dylan will probably be put on the stand, probably Bethany too. Um, so if what Dylan is saying as far as what she's seen and what she heard that night, plus whatever that they didn't put in the affidavit because it didn't need to be put in there, um, hopefully they prepare her for it. It's going to be, yeah. I just can't wait for the whole preliminary start stuff to start in June and then move on to everything else after that. All right, y'all. Let me see where I stopped at on here. Let's see if there's anything else worth reading in this. No, this is just talking about the gag order and all that, and about Mr. Gray, challenging it. So it wasn't nothing to the rest of it. But I was just wanting to read the part about what she had heard or what they're saying that she's heard, because it honestly, the way people are coming out, the way the cops have said stuff in the beginning, and I'm not saying that this is how it is, I'm just saying this is how it seems. And then Dylan coming out with and her stuff being on the PCA, and then all these other sources coming out, it almost sounds like maybe Dylan told the cops one thing and then turned around and told these sources something else. Hey Dub, how are you? June is not. June is like 4 months away now. February, March, April, May. Yeah, we got a little over 4 months. Let's see the defense. You don't think the defense will pick her apart? The PCA, they have plenty on their table already. Yeah, it does seem like it's going like super slow. Hold on, y'all. I'm gonna go back up the chat and read something real quick. Okay. It's just going like super slow, y'all. I thought about doing like a day counter, counting the days down to June the 26th. Stop rushing time. Sarah, I'm a very impatient person. Hey, Tree Baby, how are you? How many days is it? Oh, God. Let's say 4 months. Let's just say 4 months. 120 days. A little over 120 days. Because it's on June the 26th. So there's only 28 days in February. So let's just say 120 days. But I should do a counter, though. Dylan's first statement can be explained as she was afraid for her life until she got somewhere she could feel safe, as in away from the city and get around people she trusted. I mean, it very well could be that. I'm curious to know what was really said or what she really heard. White Widow Baby, did you count the days? Still don't understand why Dylan called friends first, not police. I think the number one question in the trial from the defense is going to be, why didn't Dylan, if she saw this guy in the house that night and she was in a frozen state of shock, why didn't she call the police? I think that's going to be like the number one question. We are fine. We got the Velo case first. I need to start getting my notes together on the Lori Vallow stuff. All right, I'm going to throw the link in the chat if anybody wants to come up. But this will keep getting pushed further after hearing it could take a year. Wait, who said exonerate Kohberger? Did I miss that somewhere? I agree with it. We try to give her the benefit of the doubt for now because we're really pleased. I must have missed it about Kohberger getting exonerated. Anyway, the defense is able to use the fact that she waited so long and said two different things. Now, February 27th? Oh, okay. I see what you're saying, Allie. But February 27th is when the search warrant for the car and his parents' house should be released. Because it was sealed for 60 days. And then after 60 days, and I think I do have something about that in my email. Hold on. So she was afraid. And see, that's what I have another. I have issues with that too. If she was so scared, like, okay, if she thought that he was a guest in the house and she thought it was party sound, she goes to bed. Okay, understandable. But if she actually heard, hey, Miss Honeypenny, how are you? But if she did hear, okay, you know, like I said, it makes sense about Kaylee playing with the dog. That makes complete sense. Or if this guy's like in the house and going up the stairs and she hears Kaylee say somebody's here. That makes sense. But then she hears crying coming from Xana's room and a male voice saying, it's okay, I'm going to help you. And then she looks out the door again and then she sees this guy. She's frozen in shock. I'm still curious why she waited 8 hours. And hey, Joanne, how are you? And the next morning when she got up and they start calling friends, did she tell Bethany about the guy that she saw in the house that night? Joanne, you think BK was framed? And Miss Honeypenny, yes, ma'am, I'm doing good. In a statement, part of Kohberger's extra. Oh, yeah, he was eager to get exonerated, yeah. I thought when Allie was saying that, I thought Allie had meant somebody in the comments had said something about him being exonerated. Use everything the judge allows to be entered into evidence, all that remains to the scene. Defense is already, they are offering no evidence at this point. Beth Joy, how are you? Hold on, I must have missed something in chat. Give me just a second, y'all. Why is this person coming in here being rude to people? Enon's parents' farm and house on Johnson Avenue where Enon went. Enon actually went to San Francisco. Hold on, y'all. Drugs and Maddie found out and was blabbing and threatening to get to the police. Enon couldn't go back to prison and Dylan's life would be ruined, set up Bryan. Yeah, that. Anyway. Passed out, woke up, saw dead bodies, panicked, gathered drugs, called friends. All right, y'all, I'm just trying to catch up in chat because I completely missed the other person, but people need to quit coming in here being rude to other people. Seriously. Like, why can't people just be nice and respect other people's opinions on stuff? Okay, so if Beth Joy comes back in here being rude to people in the chat, just next time block them. I mean, everybody is in, they can have different opinions. They don't have to agree with us. We don't have to agree with their opinions, but the fact is, you still got to respect it. And you can have a discussion with somebody that you don't agree with in an adult manner without being rude. Okay, if you are entitled to your opinion if you think BK was set up. Yeah, I mean, there's people in here that have said that they think that BK was set up. They think that uh he's innocent. That's fine. If that's what their opinion is, that's completely fine. But all these adults acting like little kids tonight, like, get over yourself. You can have a civil conversation with somebody even if you don't agree with them. It's called agree to disagree. Jeez. Ridiculous. Just like somebody just said a few minutes ago, they think he's been framed. That's fine. All right, so I'm throwing the chat up. Or the chat, Lord, y'all. I'm throwing the link out. If anybody wants to grab it and come up, y'all are more than welcome to. Tree Baby, you're very welcome. I just hate that there's got to be people like that comes in chat and wants to be rude to other people for no reason. Let's see. I mean, what kind of drugs are we talking about? Like heavy drugs or pot? I can see why DM would be afraid. Vivian, I think a lot of people were saying that maybe it was like heavy drugs. There, but I mean, if you think about it, there's no proof out there that this girl does drugs. Like there's none at all. There's no proof that there was any drugs in the house or that there had ever been drugs in the house. Exactly, Simple Butterfly. Like, what was it? 4 people earlier lost their life at the college for no reason, and we got people wanting to come in here and act like kids. And Jimmy, how are you? Yeah, there's no proof that this girl does drugs. There's no proof that there was any drugs in the house or that that's the reason why she took so long to call, or anything like that. A lot of people were screaming about the drugs because of Santa's mom getting arrested for it. Um, and I think Maddie's dad and stepmom, I think their charges were also drug related. But just because of that doesn't mean that any of the kids did drugs. Wait, who has said that they'd never been to Moscow? I'm trying to catch up real quick. Terry, how are you? Do we want more months? More months of what? Obsessed for Disneyland? What are you talking about? Okay. Uh, Let me pull this up because this is talking about the actual, um, about the warrants and stuff from Pennsylvania. mean, I can't, obsessed for Disneyland. Don't feel bad. I type in. I can't even see that good for some reason tonight. What my deal is? Exactly, Tad. Y'all, it is Valentine's Day, except for I think Mountain Time in the West Coast. So like people just need to quit being mean and be grateful that you're still breathing. There's people every day, just like I said, what happened tonight? Senseless for no reason. People have lost their lives. People need to be nice to each other. If you don't agree with them, that's fine. All right, so it says, could the search warrant for Kohberger's family's PA home be unsealed next? I was trying to think whenever I read this if there would have been any other documents that sealed that would have been unsealed. I can't even really think of anything that any other than this that is sealed. Dub, there was an active shooter at Michigan State University earlier, and I believe it's been confirmed that 4 people have died, along with plus the shooter. He unalived himself, and there was 5 people in the hospital. Some of those were in critical condition with life-threatening injuries. So I don't know if the fourth person who passed away was one of the 5 that was in the hospital, or if it was someone else. All right, so it says recently unsealed search warrants for Brian Kohberger's apartment and office in Washington State prompt the question: could the warrant for his family's home in Pennsylvania go public too? Which I would think that it would. Uh, it's supposed to be sealed for like 60 days, I believe is what it says on this. A Washington judge unsealed a pair of search warrants for Brian Kohberger's apartment and office. That's because the prosecutor filed a motion. It argues a lot of the information in those documents was already released via the affidavit that went public when the Idaho killing suspect was extradited from the Poconos. A gag order remains in place, preventing anyone involved from discussing the case, although we may have learned more before the June preliminary hearing. Update from 3 minutes ago. Okay, so it's still 3. Okay, thank you, Stevie. All right, so Kohberger's Pennsylvania public defender Jason Labar told 6 9 News sealed search warrants unsealed after 60 days from when they were signed, unless a motion is filed earlier. Hopefully, there's not going to be a motion that's filed, and we get to see it, because I do believe the 60 days is going to be on February 27th. So that means the search warrants from Kohberger's apartment, Kohberger's parents' Chestnut Hill Township home, may be unsealed at the end of February or early March. 6 9 News is waiting to hear back from the Monroe County District Attorney's Office to find out if any motions are in the works. Items like hairs, fibers, blood evidence, blood transfers, etc. Brad Maskell, a retired Idaho Major Crimes Detective Sergeant, describes what law enforcement is seeking when conducting the search warrants in relation to homicide suspects. Among the items taken in Washington were the strands of hair, potential animal hair, significant because a victim's dog was present during the attacks, a black synthetic type glove, vacuum dust container. I forgot about that. A computer, fire stick, fire TV stick, and then the Walmart and Marshalls receipts. Jesse Katz, how are you? Um, Obsessed for Disneyland. If the warrant for his parents' house is unsealed on February the 27th, the one for the car should be too. So authorities also seized 2 cuttings from an uncased pillow with a reddish brown stain and a stained mattress cover. I would think somebody with OCD wouldn't be sleeping on a stained mattress cover. I don't know. So they went into the apartment. They found red stains, and those turned out to be blood from the victims themselves. That's direct evidence that directly connects him to the crime scene in Idaho. And in my world, that's a complete high five moment. When you find something like that, that energizes things. Law enforcement are also looking for shoes with diamond pattern soles and a knife, neither of which were listed as items taken. It could be weeks until we find out if they were located in Pennsylvania. So today's the 14th. What, 13 more days before it would be unsealed? Wouldn't that be right? Do you think they threw out the remote and the HDMI cord? Stevie, no, they actually said, I believe it's in the list of stuff that they took from his house, from his apartment, that they took when they took the Fire Stick, the TV Fire Stick, they took the cords and everything. I don't remember about the remote being in there, but I do remember the cords was included. Let me see if I have that. 13 days. Okay. I need to do a countdown on that. Let me go back. I think it may be in the court documents and pull that up. Give me just 1 second and let me see if I can find them. That's hearing date. I bet you this is going to be something that I did not name in my folder. I'm just going to have to go through and look for them. Well, shit. Okay, so hold on 1 second. I'm going to find that. Who was it that asked? Before you saw was probably the shooter because yeah, and Tad, somebody had came into chat though saying that there was a fourth victim that they heard that had passed away. And Stevie, I'm fixing to find it for you, the list. It may take me a second about the cord, but I know that I have it in here. I just got to find it. It's one of those things that I put in a folder. Here it is. Wait, what is this? I actually have OCD and it can manifest in many ways, which I can personally attest do not include quirky, cleanness, things of that nature. Lovely lady, how are you? Any guesses as to what's on that fire stick? Now, hopefully they'll come out and let us know what's on it. When I first seen it, though, I thought it was weird. Like, why would they be taking the fire stick? But, I mean, he could have, I guess, searched for different things on it. Okay, so this is what was taken. So, yeah, one Fire TV stick with cord and plug. Is it common to gag order even family? What's the family? Uh, William, I can't say if the Goldmans, if his family, Ron Goldman's family, was vocal or not. Okay, you can store. Okay, see, I don't have the Fire TV stick, so I didn't know. Like, I know with uh, a Roku, like you can search things and stuff like that, but I didn't know it would be the same thing with this. Sophia, you think she would write a book? Okay, you could use the internet on it, like to search for. Ugh. Okay, so basically, it's like Roku then. You know, like with Roku, you have all your different apps and stuff like that. Okay. They were very vocal. Yeah, I just remember thinking, like I said before, why is this trial on TV? Like it, every single day it was on there, so I'd never even watched it. I just remember certain little things like the glove and stuff like that. You can also VPN in your fake location while accessing. Oh, so you can do like all kind of stuff with it then. Fire Stick is Amazon's Roku. Okay, I have Roku, so I didn't know if it was the same thing or not. Ow. Laughing stock. No, I mean I got a few notes on it, but there really wasn't anything other than just that. Uh, Nothing really new. You know that they're looking. trying to find information about the two guys that the witness said was acting suspicious the day before she went missing. But really, other than that, like there's nothing new. I even looked up the what I went over last night with the little boy, the little 2-year-old that the parents had left the hospital with. There's no update on that. There was no update on the Felina Hopkins lady. Really hadn't been anything out today. Okay. Okay, if he was being terminated while leave computer stuff at apartment, he was. William, honestly, I don't think he was planning on coming back. I just think the stuff that he left was stuff that he couldn't bring with him in his car back home. I think that he knew more than likely he was probably going to end up getting fired just based off of all the stuff that was going on. And he didn't have any intentions on coming back. And somebody had asked last night about the pictures with the fences around the house. Okay, if, and that's a big if, the termination letter is real and dates, etc., I don't think he would have known he was fired until the 19th. All right. You think his dad knew his son was terminated? I don't know. Like I'm curious what that ride home was like between him and his dad, because his dad had heard about the murders in Idaho. Um, I'm wondering if he ever brought it up to Bryan, or if Bryan ever said something to him about it. All right, y'all. I got the pictures of the house. I'm trying to get them pulled up here. Hold on just 1 second. Okay. Just because he wasn't a TA. I think if he would have lost the job as a TA, I think he would have continued to go to school probably. Maybe not in Washington, though. I think maybe he would have transferred to a college closer to home. Okay, so here's the pictures of the fence that's around the house. I don't know, Michelle. I mean, there's still a cop car there. You can barely see it in this picture. Let me zoom in where you can see it. Like, you can see the back of it. Oh, shit. I went the wrong way. Hold on. Right here. So you can still see the cop car there. And I can understand why they, if they got people parking in the front, I get why they didn't put it, out at the road or whatever. But like back here, it seems to me like they would have went out further away from the house. There it is. Okay, let me zoom in. And I don't know. I don't get why they just kept it that close. And then somebody, when I got these, I actually got them off of Facebook, and somebody had asked about the blood being on the outside of the house. Zoom in right here. Sybil, is that what you're talking about? Somebody had asked about if the blood was still on the outside of the house after they put the fence up, and it's still there. All right, you'll have to let me know which one of them you want me to zoom in on. Uh, oh, let me go back a bit. Okay, this one. Okay, so hold on. I got to zoom in and then I have to move up on it. Hey, Carrie, how are you? Should have just covered the house with plywood. I don't think that they've even. Somebody said that they've went in and cleaned it. But has anybody seen anywhere where that is actually true? That they've went in? Yeah, I can send it to y'all. Wait, little baby. Just send me an email to remind me, and I'll do it once I'm done. And they also still have the police tape around it as well. Okay. All right. So let me zoom back out. Go to this one. Like I said, there's the blood. Now I was only able to get 4 pictures. And that was it. So watching Murdoch key witness forensic blood. Okay. I'm sure. Yeah. I mean, where's this picture? Let me go back to this one. Like you can see the fence over here. It's literally right at the sliding the glass door in the back. They could just hop it and go right in. All right, so I just wanted to show y'all those because, like I said, I know somebody was in here the other night and was asking about them, and I happened to come across them today. It's like wrapped on the house. Isn't it supposed to be wrapped around the house? B, I don't understand why they put it so close. Even in the front, like they could have, unless they didn't have any way to hold it up because of the front being asphalt. Um, hey, Jim J, how are you? No, the wire fence wasn't always there. They just put it up. But it seems like they would have went a little bit further out from the house. All right, let me go back into my email real quick. Oh shit! Wait a minute. What am I doing here? Sudi, I assume it was the people who own the house. Because they said that was supposed to be turned back over to the owners February the 1st or the 2nd. They put the fence up, which I understand if they're trying to keep people out of it, but why? I thought that was the whole purpose of turning it back over, and then after that, they wasn't going to have uh, any more security or the cops sitting out front. Let me grab this last thing here. I need to check something real quick, y'all. Give me just a second. The hell? Oh, here it is. Does anyone think BCK set up BLK? I don't know, Ellie. That's a good question. Crap. Hold on, y'all. I'm trying to find something real quick. I'm just curious if they gave it back to the owner. Why do they have the police still sitting out there? Unless they're holding it for the jury, doing like a walkthrough of it. Okay, I was just checking something out about the WSU, or I'm sorry, the MSU shooting. Good. Okay. I don't know. I mean, if people want in the house, they're going to get in the house regardless if there's a fence there or not. I'm pretty sure that there might have been people who went into the house while the police guy or what woman or whatever was sitting in the front, supposed to be guarding it. I don't even want to live next door to the house. It just seems very creepy. But I do think that they possibly could be holding it for the jury. Maybe that's the reason why we haven't heard anything about them going in and cleaning it up or anything like that. Jim J, they really haven't said why they put the fence up. Just one day, like Simple Butterfly had actually tried to send me pictures the other day. Like, what was it, 2 or 3 days ago? Um, of the fence, and I wasn't able to get the pictures for some reason. I couldn't get them to open, and then I came across those pictures today, so I was like, well, I'm gonna grab them. But I never have heard why they put it up. All right, y'all. If y'all haven't done so, can y'all please go hit the thumbs up? And for all those watching who are not subscribed, please go subscribe. Come join us in chat. It's probably fenced and alarmed in case people try to break in. And that one picture that's in the back, it did look like they still had those lights, like the party lights or whatever that's outside. It did look like they had those on too. All right, let's see what this is because there was one article that I had. It was kind of talking about the same thing as the other one I had, but this one was talking about the female students that had accused him of, I guess, reported him. Let me pull this one up. I guess they had reported him to the college. One, he followed one and made the other one feel uncomfortable. Hey, Sima, how are you? All right, give me just a second. I'm just trying to get everything going back on my phone because for some reason it's not wanting to work right. Okay, here we go. All right, so this one says, and it's by Newsweek also, Bryan Kohberger's behavior towards women investigated weeks before the arrest. One of the big factors looked over is reports on the video cam from the film studio directly behind. Back on pod, uh, post from film student. They got kicked out of the film group for leaking. Did they ever? Because I know, like, right after they said that they had the camera back here, then the person came back out and said that he was lying, it wasn't real. But was it ever confirmed for 100% that they actually had a camera in their backyard? Because the person who had came out and said it, kind of made themselves sound creepy as hell by having a camera pointing at a girl's house where it's all women that live in it, pointing at the back of their house that you can see through sliding glass doors at night if there's lights on in rooms, and they claim that they saw a female running away from the house at 2 o'clock. Okay, so it is real? Okay. Because I know it came out to begin with, like I said, and then they came out and said, no, it wasn't true. So I didn't know. Miss Amir, how are you? See, I would like to know if that was real. And I don't understand. Why would you have a camera pointed at a house with all females in it? That is just that's very creepy. That's almost stalkish like, honestly. Hey Paige, how are you? How, especially, why would you need to be recording at night behind somebody's house? Like, what are you trying to catch on camera in the dark? It doesn't, that don't make sense. All right, so this one real quick just says Bryan Kohberger, the Idaho murder suspect, was reportedly investigated regarding his behavior towards women in the weeks before his arrest. So, according to the new report from the New York Times, Kohberger, 28, was terminated from his position as a teaching assistant at Washington State University after school officials were informed about his behavior towards some female students. Oh, yeah, I gotta sneeze. So, citing anonymous individuals with knowledge of the situation, the Times reported that one female student accused Kohberger of following her, while another female student said that the 28-year-old PhD student made them feel uncomfortable. However, the newspaper reported that the investigation into his behavior towards women did not uncover any wrongdoing. So, I'm guessing the college, like these female students, had turned this into the college. College investigated it, didn't find where he done anything wrong. Like, this dude is just, if this is true, the guy has issues, especially when it comes to women. Allegedly 43-year-old male with ties to Michigan State. All right, so it says that the report from the New York Times comes amid ongoing speculation about Kohberger's behavior following his December 30th arrest in Albrightsville, Pennsylvania, in the murders of Kaylee, Maddie, Ethan, and Xana, the four students of the University of Idaho who were fatally stabbed in an off-campus residence. All right, so let me go down here. All right, so we know that he's been charged with the 4 counts of first-degree murder, 1 count of felony burglary. However, his former lawyer in Pennsylvania said in a statement he was eager to be exonerated. I think he's full of himself, honestly. So, thank you, Miss Amir. So, prior to his arrest, Kohberger attended WSU as a PhD student studying criminology, and according to the New York Times, faculty officials at the university first began investigating his behavior in November. Kohberger was ultimately fired a month later, which WSU said was due to him not being able to meet the norms of his professional behavior, as well as his unsatisfactory performance as a teaching assistant. Additionally, the newspaper reported that Kohberger also had an altercation last September with the professor John Snyder, who he was assisting. And then, following the reports that Kohberger was fired from the teaching assistant position, Phil Wheeler, the vice president of marketing and communications at WSU, previously told Newsweek that Kohberger does not currently have a teaching assistantship, and he is not currently enrolled at WSU, but added that he was previously appointed as a teaching assistant in the fall of 2022 semester. Okay, and then Mr. Wheeler is just saying that it's typical for students to receive a teaching assistantship or similar appointment as part of the PhD program. And then they reached out to Wheeler for further comment in regard to the investigation into Kohberger's behavior towards women. So maybe they will hear something back from him. They can he will be able to give them more information about how he treated the females at the school. All right. Hey, Lori, how are you? Okay, let me scroll back up here. Because I was trying to see okay, so allegedly 40. Okay, so the guy at Michigan State that did the shooting, he was a 43-year-old male. One second, y'all. Yes, Lori, I'm doing good. Thank you. Hold on one second, y'all. All right, y'all. Yes, with no. Okay, thank you, Tad. All right, let me check this real quick and see what this is. All right, y'all. I'm going over to Twitter real quick. I'm curious though, like, why would he just want to go to a university and just start shooting at people? Seriously. Yeah, I was listening to Scanner and it was happening, and they kept saying King Scarlet. Yes, there was something about multiple shooters. There was a call that came in that was saying that there was bombs in the places, in some of the buildings, and all that. And then police come out on the first press conference saying, people are putting out misinformation, not to listen to it, and all this and that. GMJ earlier tonight, about 7 left or 7, about 7:20 my time, there was a shooter at Michigan State University. And as of right now, 3 people have died and there's 5 in the hospital. And the shooter also unalived himself. Okay, I'm going to see what all is on Twitter now. See if anything new has came out about it. What's the actual police scanner? Yeah, the police scanner was crazy. It was even on there about, uh, whenever they were saying that the shooter, they think had unalived himself. They were saying that like he had the same clothes on as the suspect, all that. Lori and CJ, how are you? Jim J, I don't know what's going on, but it's getting crazy. Like they're shooting shit out of the sky and saying it's UFOs or UAPs or whatever the hell they're calling them things now. And We've had what, two train derailments now. Um, did the shooting tonight. It's, people are just going mad in this world. Just won't be able to say their piece due to, yeah, I know. That's what's sad. He had to take himself out. I mean, why go into a college and do that? Why go anywhere and do it? Is there more crazy things happening? I've been too busy. Jay, look, how are you? That, I think that's all I can think of right now. That's went on here anyway. Oh yeah, I forgot about the the earthquake over in Turkey and Syria. Well, think about it, obsessed for Disneyland, like just in the US, what's been going on here the last week. There was that balloon, and then the three other objects they got. I didn't even know about the last one. I thought the last one that they were talking about was the one actually from the day before. I didn't know we had three in 3 days. Like 3 days in a row of shooting stuff down. Which one of them wasn't, I believe, in Canadian airspace, but still. And then this tonight, the one train derailment that was in Ohio that was like, I think, some type of chemical leak or something from it. And then I believe the one in Texas that happened also had some type of harmful chemicals. So it's just been, just the last week, it's been crazy. You know what else they had today? Someone that was Asian ran over a lot of people in New York. Oh, Sinful Butterfly, I saw that too. I didn't get to read the story, but when I was scrolling through some other stuff, I seen where something had happened with a U-Haul truck in New York. But wait, there's been three train derailments? Where was the other one at, Tad? I heard about the one in Ohio and then the one in Texas. Turkey was an awful earthquake in Syria too. Sima, you're very welcome. That's a very sad thing too. Oh, there was one in South Carolina. Okay, I didn't know that. But I did see some pictures and some videos out of Turkey from the earthquake there, and it's very sad. Crazy's always happen in New York. My dad's lives there. Wow. Hey Jen, how are you? It's been like a lot of crazy stuff going on, y'all. And it seems like it's whatever is going on in the last week. It's just been really bad. Tiny specks with a flight path zoomed in and was shaped with object over the Eiffel. Oh, see, I didn't know about the object over the Eiffel Tower. I did hear about the lights over Hawaii. I heard about that. There's just been some crazy stuff going on. Is there any people here have had turkey relatives in earthquake? Yeah, Lori, I saw that it was some kind of green laser lights or something that was over Hawaii. It's just been, y'all, it's been crazy. Like, we need to pray for each other. Seriously. The world has gone mad. There's just crazy people uh, doing crazy things that's just senseless. Oh, wait, little baby, mine's not either. I've done had to exit completely out of my chat on my phone and go back to it just to go back to all messages. Aliens really. Jay, look, they actually haven't, that I've heard, came out and said what the objects are. Just that they don't call them UFOs anymore. They call them what are they? UAPs, unidentified aerial phenomenons. And allegedly, some of the military has seen them over the last several years. They've shot 3 down plus the balloon, and then I guess they're going to come out and let us know what it all is once they gather all of the debris up. Hey, Dale, how are you? I don't even want to think about aliens, y'all. We got enough problems with the people that are just here on Earth and the way they want to treat people and do bad things and all that. I don't want to even think about aliens. Okay, I'm old enough to remember TV show Project UFO, so I called them high strangeness. Can't think even aliens. I don't know. Hopefully, we don't have to deal with stuff like that. Okay, y'all. I'm trying to go through and just see what is on Twitter real quick. Just trying to find out anything new about it. Wait, what? I think aliens mean good. Okay. I'm gonna pull this up, y'all, because there is like so much. Oh, wait, hold on. I didn't know Judy was backstage. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I felt bad. Nobody wanted to come up and talk to you.
Okay, say that again. I had my computer was muted and I couldn't hear you.
I said I felt bad. Nobody wanted to come up and play with you.
Oh no, that's fine. So how are you?
I'm just ducky.
Trying to see
Hey,
if there's anything new about this, like any new updates or anything like that on this the shooting at MSU. It was like a whole sad situation.
I told you. They're going nuts.
You know you got your camera on, right?
Nope.
Hold on, I'll throw a thing up for you then. A wall. All right. Well, she knocked herself off. Maybe throw the link back out for her. Okay, you back?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you got your camera cut off now.
Yeah, I must have turned on my screen or something when I was getting out of bed here for a second.
Okay. Anyway, I'm trying to see if there's anything new, but I don't see anything. I know that Brian Enton is posted like an hour ago, but that's 2 hours ago. Uh, there's been a lot of people was sharing that dude's picture, and it wasn't even him, which was crazy. They were all sending this guy's picture to the police in Michigan and everything else, saying that it was him just because of something that he had shared, which what he shared on Twitter does make people think it like it didn't make sense what he shared, but it would make you think that he might have had something to do with it. But next briefing update will be at 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. Last briefing, they did say all 5 in hospital are in critical condition. Okay. Thank you, Lori.
They're
Jayla,
probably getting their ducks in a row before they,
right.
because it is the middle of the night, technically, and
Yeah, it's 2:30 in Michigan now.
they
Um,
probably figure they got a couple hours to get their stuff together.
Yeah. Jay, look, earlier in Michigan, at the Michigan State University, about 8 o'clock tonight, they had an active shooter. It's just sad though that people have to. In this video here, I'm just going to leave it up here. It's not very long, but that people have to go do something like that.
They're going to make it so that college is online.
You think? I mean, like a lot of people are doing the whole online college thing, but some of these kids would like to go and do the whole college experience. Go hang out with their friends and join fraternities and sororities and all this different thing and experience the whole thing. But people like this guy who did this tonight just makes it impossible because kids don't want to go to school and be afraid, and parents don't want to send their kids off because something like that could happen.
Yeah. The other thing that's bugging me, which is a little bit off subject, is I wonder how much internet access BK actually has, and how much he's reading about what's going on.
I don't know. I wouldn't think that he has any internet, like not internet access. He may be able to do like Zoom calls or something like that, or maybe text back and forth or email back and forth with his family. But I don't think he has internet access past that.
Well, it's not like somebody on Zoom couldn't point their Zoom towards the TV set or whatever.
I don't know. They would. I wonder if they have stuff like that because I mean I don't know how it. Like whenever you're talking to somebody in jail like that, but I would think it would still be monitored.
Well, back in the day, there was no such thing as internet in a jail, so I
Right.
have no I have no knowledge of that.
Yeah. All right. So
I
this
mean,
guy that I have pulled up on the picture here or on the screen real quick. This is a picture that a lot of people on Twitter was sending into the Michigan Police Department up there, but he puts on there, "I hope you're ready, MSU. All of you, what does it say? All of you chuds are going to pay millions, must fucking die." Is what it says. Now he claimed that whenever all this was going on, that he was in Massachusetts, and he was at home with his wife and reading. But the way he put it made it sound like that he was referring to Michigan State University when he could have been referring to somebody else or some other school or whatever. But um, this picture was the one that was going around.
I can remember the day when just that would have got your ass in jail for a little while.
Right. But there was some people that also said that that tweet was fake. I don't know where they were
Oh,
getting it that it was fake, but still, like, is this wait?
I'm not
You talk?
saying it's real. I'm just saying
Yeah, I
that
mean
just
that would have because the way that it's on there, and it makes it like it sound like this guy's talking about Michigan State, and then all of a sudden, like this was posted earlier, and then all of a sudden there's an active shooter at the college, and that's why everybody was believing it, thinking that this was a guy and all this and that, and it turned out that it wasn't.
well, is there anything in Massachusetts that's got those initials?
Uh, is there a Massachusetts State University there? I would
I
assume.
don't know. I never.
Jill, thank you for becoming a member and welcome to the family. I would assume they would have had an MSU there.
It was just a thought. You know me.
Okay, so Jesse Cat said it's UMass. So University of Massachusetts. Trying to think of where else some MSU would have been though. Reese's Pieces sound good without the ET talk. Allie, have a good night. Let me get back on my Twitter. Hey, Penny, how are you? Police said he's in his 40s. All right, yeah, I'm just scrolling through here real quick.
I mean, think about it. Somebody 40 in their 40s, they ain't got nothing else better to do than that.
Yeah, why go to a college and especially if they're saying he has no ties to this college. Like he don't go to college there, he ain't got family there, no kids. Like what is the point of
No
doing
job
something like
there.
that? Yeah, like why
I don't
go
know.
do this to anybody?
Well, you've got a valid point there.
I mean, that is just I don't understand people in the world today.
I don't understand. Yeah, I don't understand the whole thing.
It's just it's sad all the way around.
I mean,
And
just
then
like you said before, people like to go to college and experience the thing of college. Well, I can remember when I was a kid that you used to be able to walk home when it's starting to get dark without fear of somebody stealing you.
right, yeah. And now like you have to even kids 13, 14, 15 years old, like if they go outside, you basically got to keep an eye on them because somebody will, could potentially come through and kidnap them too. Like it's crazy. And then you got videos like the one that's playing now on the screen. And I don't have the sound on them or anything like that, but these are kids that are basically locked up in a building on the campus trying to stay safe. Whether watching,
Unheard of.
and,
Unheard of.
and then there was one video that was on there. I don't know if I'll come across it or not, but it looked like the suspect was literally walking outside of their building, like just walking down the sidewalk. And these boys that are in this room that you can hear on the video are scared to death, because this guy's outside their building. I don't know. Some people just get off on that, on hurting people and scaring people,
And then we're going to go back to the old adage, we got to come up with a gun law because guns are killing people. And don't get me started on that because guns have never killed anybody.
no, it's the people
I've never,
behind them.
I've never seen a gun yet jump off the goddamn kitchen table and shoot somebody.
Yeah, and there's the suspect there.
Now, do we need to make sure that we keep guns away from children? And
Well,
absolutely.
sure, for,
You know,
that's,
do we need to make sure that we're responsible gun owners?
yes,
Absolutely.
yep.
But
Paige said just like spoons don't make people fat.
well, I mean, you're not gonna solve anything. For years and years, they made drugs illegal, but that didn't stop anything.
No,
That just made the price go up.
let's see. About 4 miles from campus when police captured. Prosser Gang, did they ever say what type of vehicle he was in? Because there was another video I'd seen on Twitter from one of the students. They were filming like through their window outside. And I believe it was the same ones that seen the guy walking in front of the building, and then they actually captured a car leaving from the area. It was like a black SUV uh, that was leaving from the area from where the guy was actually walking towards. And Simple Butterfly on the whole 6-year-old that shot his teacher. I heard that earlier in the day, before that, he had actually tried to choke another teacher.
What the
Yeah, if
hell are
you
we
can find,
teaching kids nowadays?
I don't know. I don't understand parents not teaching their kids decency and morals and respect and like how to act like you got some damn home training. Seriously. Like, you just letting your kids run all wild like a bunch of little wild banshees.
Yeah, they made the switch illegal.
Yeah, that is true. Let's see. I'm just catching up in chat. I have to keep myself caught up in chat or I end up missing stuff. Parents are afraid to parent. I mean, yeah, because parents they just don't teach their kids how to just have any respect at all.
Well, let's back up a minute. Let's play devil's advocate.
Hmm.
Is it the parents' fault, or did we make it illegal? I mean, there's a difference between beating your child, which is illegal,
Right.
to
And
whooping your child.
right. Yeah, that is. But I mean, even if a parent does it, because there are a lot of parents who don't believe in whipping their kids, and if that's what they choose, that's fine. But there's still you can still teach them decency, respect, how to have morals, how to treat people.
Okay, so let's
Like,
see what happened. We took religion out of the schools,
hmm,
which I don't agree with because I think every religion should be represented. That being said,
right,
and they took the Pledge of Allegiance out of the schools.
right.
I don't know. Let's make a list of what they took out of the schools.
Oh God, I can't even. Prosser gang, thank you. Honestly, I think that's all really. I can't think of anything else. The Krista, have a good night, honey. But still, that's no excuse for not teaching your kids how to treat people. How to be productive, decent human beings in society and not go to a college and shoot it up or go into somebody's house at 4 o'clock in the morning and murder them. You
I
know,
mean, God, how many cases have we heard of in the last 2 years? Maybe didn't get a lot of attention, but uh, drive-bys that went through people's houses that
yeah,
killed people that were totally innocent in their own bed. I mean,
yeah. I mean, just in the state of Louisiana, we hear about it all the time. Every night in the cities here, there's shootings and murders and everything else. We literally have, I think it's the three cities in Louisiana is like in the top 10 dangerous cities in the U.S. And there's three
and
of them right here.
I find that hard to digest because isn't Louisiana one of the bigger states, along with Texas, that believe in packing heat?
Yes,
Well,
but there's still it's New Orleans, Baton Rouge, and Shreveport are the in the I think all three of those are in the top 10 for the most dangerous cities in the U.S. Because literally just in Shreveport, if you watch the news from up in that area, it's constant every single night of shootings, somebody getting murdered, uh, robberies, just whatever. And I'm in the central part of the state, but I still hear about all of the stuff from Shreveport, and we hear about it from down south and all the different towns and cities and all that down there too.
I don't know, girlfriend.
She said, all right, so Protogen says that they send their daughter to private school, says a pledge of allegiance every morning, pledges the U.S. flag, the Christian flag, and the Bible. Yeah, in the public schools though, they won't. Um, they took all that out, which is it's crazy. I remember in elementary school every morning, as soon as the bell rang, you're in the classroom. The first thing you do is say the pledge.
That's right.
That was every single morning.
Every morning.
Yep. No matter what you had to do that day at school, whether you had your end of the year testing or whatever, first thing was the pledge. And I remember in some grades they even made us. Oh, what was the song? I can't. It was a song that we had to sing after it. I don't remember which one it was though.
No, we never had to sing a song, but
All right, so White
I
Widow
mean,
Baby says that her kid still says the Pledge of Allegiance.
it's the Bible can get to be uh, a big issue to discuss,
Mm-hmm.
but just simple, I don't know how to word it, just simple common sense about thou shalt not kill should be, whether it's in the Bible or not, should be common
Right,
sense. I
right.
mean,
Yeah. I mean, it. When you're a child, your parents are supposed to teach you right from wrong. Once you get an adult, you should know right from wrong. This dude was what Tad said. He's 43 years old. He knew right from wrong. He knew what he was doing was wrong.
you should at
And
least raise your children to be kind.
yes,
There shouldn't be such a huge issue about bullying. It,
no, because parents don't care. Parents, if my child was bullying somebody, I would whip my child's ass because I don't put up with stuff like that. I would not want my kid bullying somebody else. And I'd never had an issue with my kids ever getting in trouble for that. But
right.
my kids were also taught that you don't bully people, you don't make fun of people, um, you don't start anything with anybody, but at the same time, you don't take no shit from nobody either. That's just how me and Troll raised the kids. But there was some kids, and it irritates me. Hey, Maisie, how are you? So there would be kids at school, like the teacher would say something, and they would, instead of them saying yes, ma'am, because and that's like a huge thing in the South. Um, a lot of people teach their kids it's always yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, yes, sir, no, sir, please, thank you, like all the manners. There would be some kids though at school, my kids would be going there, and the teacher would say something, they'd be like, yeah. It just that irritated me because they just had no respect, and their parents never taught them respect. Let's see, I was bullied all through school. It made me, yeah, I don't like the whole bullying thing. LJ, how are you? I never did it whenever I was in school. I never had an issue with it, with it being done to me, but I never done it. I didn't want to treat people like that. My hubby's old elementary principal is on death row. Oh my God. Hey, Annette, how are you? I just, it's wrong to treat people like that. There's people all over YouTube that thinks that it's okay to bully people and do them bad and all that. And that's just people who have miserable lives and they want to make everybody else miserable. And all they're doing is making their own selves look bad. Okay, I have a step granddaughter with attitude. I hate she disrespects with no empathy, lots like that. I remember being the horrible stepdaughter, y'all. I was I was I wasn't kind to my stepmother like I should have been. So we have a
Who are
citizen.
you?
Oh, I was my stepmom though. The first one I had was, I was 12 when her and my dad got married. Um, so she was up older. She never had kids, never been around kids. It was just her and her sister had 3 kids, but they lived off, so she was never around them. So imagine being an older lady, getting married to a guy who has a fixing to turn teenage daughter in 2 months. and you have no children experience. So yeah, I put her to the test. I'm not gonna lie. I ended up apologizing to her though, but I was quite mean whenever I was younger.
But had somebody addressed your issue with that ASAP, would that have helped?
Oh, she tried to address it, but it didn't work.
Well, obviously your father wasn't joining in with the addressing it.
No, because my dad worked. He was a truck driver, so he was never home. It was just me and her. And then when she wanted to narc on me, and that just made it worse. But like I said, I ended up apologizing to her. In the end, she apologized to me because she didn't treat me well either. So, in foster gang, I did. I really gave her hell, y'all. I was one of those teenagers that stayed grounded constantly.
You weren't your normal pleasant self?
No, I used to be bad. Hey, Commander, how are you? I used to stay in trouble all the time. No comment, white little baby. I really was. And then my stepmom that I have now, I can't stand her. I can't stand the ground she walks on, honestly. I was a horrid teen to my mom and stepmom. Me and my mom don't get along. Me and her can't even stay in the same room together. It's okay, Scarlett. It's normal to feel a certain way about a new person as a child. Yeah, she just. I mean, at the time, I didn't understand the way she was acting because she didn't know, like, she'd never been around kids. Once I got up older, I understood it and apologized. Let's see. My dad was 60. Oh, wow, Jen. My dad would have actually turned 67 yesterday now, on the 13th. Let's see, I enjoyed freedom, free room and board at Dozier when I was 15, 16. Oh. All right, yeah, I'm just going back through Twitter real quick. I can't believe they don't have other updates on here. Where's the search?
Well, other news channels don't have them?
Yeah, I'm sure there is. I was just checking because, like when something happens, everybody flocks to Twitter. So I figured there would have been like, something new on there. Let's see what this is. Oh God, that's something about the NRA, so I'm not even gonna go there. Okay, it's just mostly all the videos that the kids at the colleges were posting on there and stuff like that.
And this is what, February, so
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
is there another break, college break between now and graduation?
Do they get like a spring break? Most colleges get that, right? So that would be
Usually, but
March, April, somewhere around in there, probably.
yeah.
I think that would be the next one because there was, um, we just had the Thanksgiving break and then the Christmas break, Christmas New Year's break. So yeah, next would be spring break.
Well, I guess what I'm trying to think of in my mind is that when the Idaho 4 happened, it was right before the Thanksgiving, correct?
Yeah, like about about a week before the
So
Thanksgiving break. Yeah.
it wasn't a big, huge, probably. Well, it might have been exams, but it wouldn't have been such of a big thing if parents would have said to their children a week before Thanksgiving, get your tails on home for a little while.
Yeah.
But this would be a big catastrophe. Um,
Right. So Easter is April the 9th. Is that right? Yeah, Sunday, April the 9th. So some places will have the spring break like the week of Easter. Some other places, I believe it's in March, their spring break is. No, wait,
you
hold
know,
on. Wait, why does it have a different date on? No, April the 9th. I was looking at something completely different. So yeah, April the 9th will be Easter. So it'll be probably for some places the end part of March. So the to around Easter will be spring break. I'm sure a lot of the colleges will take them at different times and stuff like that.
well, I don't know, but I do know that this isn't hitting at a convenient time. Not that should happen at a convenient. Don't get me wrong, but
Hmm. Yeah, I get what you're saying. I don't know. It's senseless, though, honestly.
it's getting to the point where we can't even predict what could
What's going
possibly
to happen?
happen next.
I know. You can just literally be anywhere and something like that can pop off. And that's what's scary. Because, I mean, like, at colleges, there's always students there. But how many times has there ever been a school shooting at night?
Well, there's a good angle for you.
Most of the school stuff, well, like high schools and stuff like that, it's obviously during the day because that's when their school hours are. But when has there ever been one at a college that's been at night?
Well,
I
nighttime
googled
is
it.
scarier because you can't because you're
Right, you
under the
can't see
cover.
where of darkness, right?
Yeah.
All right, so March the 6th through March the 10th would have been is Michigan State University's spring break. So about 3 weeks from now. All right, B, have a good night, honey. Virginia, same day as Idaho 4. Yeah, it's scary. Like these kids can't even go to like they can't even go to some of them can't even go to high school without something like this happening. Now you got kids that are in college and it's happening too.
I don't know. Going to give homeschooling a whole new meaning.
Yeah, I actually ended up homeschooling my kids. It wasn't fun, but it was at least I knew that they were safe at home.
I don't have a lot to base this on,
Hmm.
but it seems to me as if a lot of children that are homeschooled actually, I don't want to say they're smarter. I want to say they're better educated. I don't know how to say it.
Hmm. Yeah, they get a lot more one on one though. With the homeschooling, and it can kind of go at a little bit slower pace, and there are some distractions with it being at home, but then again, it's not a distraction where you're at school for 7 to 8 hours. You start working, you have a time limit on it. Uh, you got to get up, leave the class for lunch. You got reset. Like my kids, usually their stuff, they were done by 12 o'clock with their stuff.
But if we'll just say you had 3 children,
I do
and
have three
all,
kids.
well, okay, and all 3 of your children came down with the flu all at the same time.
Hmm.
And all 3 of them seemed to start to get better about the same time. So let's just say Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you got a big problem in the house with sickness. You could literally run school on Saturday and Sunday too
Right.
to make up for that time.
Yeah, because see, that's another thing. If they're homeschooled, they don't get sick as much. Like there was when my kids were still in school before I took them out, there was the stomach virus had went around, and it got so bad they had to shut the school down. Well, whenever they shut the school down, they didn't clean it, not like they should have. Like they didn't disinfect the whole thing like they should have and got rid of it and all that. So when they come back to school, like probably a week and a half, the virus was going around the school again, and they've had to shut the school down for flu and everything else out there. And once they started homeschooling, they never got sick again. Like it was, and it was so obviously everything that they were getting sick from was all coming from school. Okay, so there is a thing on here, CBK News. Hold on, let me pull this up for y'all about the Michigan thing. It came out 2 hours ago, but okay, so I don't know if y'all can see that very good, but it says update: Michigan State University suspect shooter found unalive with self-inflicted gunshot wound. He was Michigan State University former basketball player, and this is his picture. So if he was 43, that would have been oh god,
Did
20
he
years
apply
ago.
for a coach job or something?
I don't know. Is this even right? Matching description. See, shooter has no pulse after shooting himself. Second weapon in backpack along with. Okay, responders giving CPR. This can't be right. Because if he had been a former basketball player, that would have been 20 years ago. If he's 43. So Tad, this one
Well,
isn't right. Let's see, no wrong separate story. I don't know.
separate story. Damn, don't find more cases, Scarlett.
That's what I was looking. Okay, so Tad said no wrong separate story. Okay, so I was trying to see if this was. That's the only thing they say about him, though. But it says here the university shooter was 43-year-old with no affiliation to the university. Police say they have no idea why he came to campus. No, it's a separate story. He killed somebody unrelated. Oh, okay. So there's nothing else on here. I can't believe that. Like, this was during the time it was just one confirmed death. Uh,
Okay,
okay,
let me back this up just a freaking minute here.
go ahead.
I'm talking to my screen.
Oh.
Not you, hon. So this happened where?
Update. Michigan State University. Charged with first degree murder to get felony firearm. Story. Okay. Wait. Former Orlando Magic and MSU basketball player Keith Bryan was charged with first degree murder. So was that the one that I just pulled up? Because it was posted like an hour ago. Oh, okay. All right. So that's what was confusing, because I was like, if this dude was a former basketball player and he's 40 something years old, he would have been playing like 20 years ago, around that time. Maybe 20, 21 years. Okay, the person confused the two. Okay, well, thank you for clearing that up. Yeah, I cannot see chat. What the
So
heck's up with my eyes?
According to Google, there's 3 hours ago there was a news on WXYZ in Detroit, and then ABC and NBC.
Yeah, but I wonder if they got like, let's see, WXYZ Channel 7 Detroit. Let's see what they got.
Well, NBC is live.
Yeah, if I do anything live though like that, I have to wait till like 5 minutes. I have to be like 5 minutes behind. I don't want to take a chance on one of those news
Well, I'm
channels
just looking to
striking.
see if they are live or, yeah, like see right now they're live, but they're talking about things flying in the sky.
That's a whole nother crazy. Yeah, Jen, the person that had it on Twitter had the wrong information on it. Let's see. I'm trying to see when this article came out about it. What time was this? Oh, this was like
The
nine
Michigan
o'clock.
thing?
So this, huh?
The Michigan thing?
Yeah, I'm looking at WXYZ in Detroit, but this article that they're talking about it was from 9 o'clock. So
Fox.
it's an older one.
Yeah, you got 4 hours ago, 5 hours ago, 3 hours ago.
I think Fox 2 Detroit was what I was watching earlier. Let's see what this one is. This one came out at 8:48. So this one's old too. It doesn't say that it was updated though. Because sometimes they'll put it out and it'll be like several hours old, but they'll update it. And the
Yeah.
update won't be but just, like a few hours. Hey Ashes, how are you? See, we were watching this when it all went down. He unloved three and himself. 5 people are in the hospital. Yeah, I was listening to it when it come across the scanner saying that he had unalived himself, which is it's sad because now these, you know, the victims, the three that have passed and the five that's in the hospital, they're not going to get any justice, and neither is their
You were
families.
getting you were getting it off a scanner?
Yeah, there was some YouTube channels that had scanners playing, and you could
Oh,
hear,
I was gonna
yeah,
say,
yeah,
damn, if you got I'd hate to see the antenna you got attached to your house.
no, you can get there's scanners that you can download, police scanners to your phone, or I'm sure there's some on the computer. But there was two different channels I know of that had that was listening to the police scanners, and you could hear everything that was being said.
Um,
Um, like where the shooter was. There was people calling in saying that there was uh, bombs in buildings. Some people had said something about there was multiple shooters. I did try Broadcastify though, Tad, because I used to have that on my phone. But when I downloaded it, I couldn't get it to work. So I just had to listen to it on their YouTube channels because I was trying to get it so I could listen to it. But yeah, the scanner literally, like, you could hear dispatches constantly coming in telling what they've heard, uh, relaying the messages when the guy unalived himself, was given the description of the clothing that he had on, matched the suspect. Like, it was, you could hear everything. Because I was thinking whenever it came out that there was explosives in the buildings, I was like, oh shit, like, that's not good. Hey, Cool Gamer, how are you? And I actually used to have Broadcastify on my phone, and then I deleted it to put uh, the flight radar on there whenever they were transporting Bryan Kohberger across the country back to Idaho.
well,
Brian Inton's tweet as the suspects. Yeah, I actually tweeted his photo too, but I actually tweeted the photo, and then like it wasn't long after that they said that he had did that to himself. Scanner radio is good too. Hey, Autoflower, how are you? Okay, I was having traffic issues. I was not used to 250,000 people. Yeah, there was a lot of people. Hey, see you too. How are you? Okay, sorry, always late. Prayers for the family. Yeah, just keep all these, these kids and their families in your prayers, because that's just all the way around. It's a sad situation.
Yeah, and the other thing is just like any other crime, you've got people with parents, say, a family of people that have kids in that college,
Right.
and they're hanging on to every word,
Yeah.
wondering.
See you too. Thank you for becoming a member. Welcome to the family. See, it's a great app for you to download. I may try that one then. Which are you talking about? The Broadcastify tab? That's the one you're talking about. I've got it on my phone now, but like I said, I couldn't get it to work. But I may try the one that Autoflower was talking about, Scanner Radio. I should have never deleted it in the first place, but I couldn't get the flight radar to work uh, when we were all tracking Bryan Kohberger flying across the states. See, there's been so much going on in his wreck. Yeah, I know. It's just been, yeah, this past week it's been crazy.
One of these days, you got to get White Widow Baby and Sybil up on panel.
Yeah, I do. Which Crime Crazy's been up here with me several times, but uh, White Widow Baby never has been.
Uh oh.
The app I use is called. I may have to download Scanner Radio then and try that. Because that Broadcastify, like everything I typed in tonight to try to search wasn't working. Okay, let's see if they got anything new on here. Let's see, that was 2 hours ago. I want something that's like 13 minutes ago. She got a lot to say in chat, but not on panel. Hold on 1 second, y'all. All right, C2, you want to come up? Hold on, let me grab you a link. All you gotta do is just hit the link. It should ask for your name. And then if you don't want your camera on, just hit to stop your camera. Okay, see. I'm gonna need to be drunk. No, you ain't gotta be like that, White Little Baby, to come up. It's her in that closet. That's what it is, Crime Crazy. Okay, let me see. 3 a.m. So this would have literally just came out a few minutes ago.
Oh, that's right. White Widow Baby's the one that wanted to bring liquor on a plane.
Right. She just got to come out of the closet first. Yeah. See you too. No, that's fine. I mean, you don't have nothing to be shy about though. You don't have to show your face or anything like that if you want to come up. You have to notify suspects next of kin before releasing name. Scanner, just hit the X when it reminds you payment. Let's see. Yeah, I'm not paying for the scanner thing. There was one that I did download. It said it was free. And then once I downloaded it, it wasn't free. So I deleted it. I will soon, a month or two. Okay, that's fine. Anytime you want to come up, you're more than welcome to. I see we got like 245 people watching. We need to get some of those 245 people in the chat. So if y'all haven't done so, please go sub up and then come join us in the chat. And if y'all haven't done so, go hit the thumbs up. Let's see, it's all yeah, I'm not going to pay you anything for it, but I'm going to download it though. Once I'm done on here tonight, I'll download it. That way I will already have it on my phone. Because like I said, I had Broadcastify. I've used it. Like there was several different things that I'd used it for, and it worked fine. And just for whatever reason, like tonight, everything I typed in, it it would say that there's no live feed.
Auto Flower Lover said that it's live right now and you don't have to pay.
Yeah. I'm here just on my catnip. Sybil has nothing to say tonight. Make like a valley girl and like hit the like button. Okay, I'm trying to see what this is talking about. This is kind of a long article, but I may pull it up and read a little bit of it, talking about what had went on. Because I did notice there was some people that came in that hadn't even heard about what happened.
Uh-oh, White Widow baby's picking on Sybil.
I can't believe she don't have nothing to say tonight. It's because everybody's being good. Like we got rid of the trolls earlier in the night. It still pisses me off though that they're gonna come in here and say that about the women in here. It's like that's just kind of
I'm trying to type really quick in chat. Block, block. And I'm spelling out every word but block.
I was when I seen it, I was like, wait, hold on. I was supposed to say something. I was trying to like follow it on the chat because my chat, whenever I delete, because I'm on a computer, I have to do it from the side of the chat. I can't just click on the person's name and block them. So I was trying to like chase them down in chat, and right when I hit the three little buttons to pull up the box to block, Crime Crazy got them. His house is being searched in North Lansing. I've heard, trying to find out more. Okay, I did hear though about him having the extra weapon in his. He had a backpack on. He had an extra weapon and clips and ammo and all that in there. So there's no telling if police wouldn't have caught it with him when they did. There's no telling how much longer he would have went. Honestly. Okay, y'all, hold on one second. I gotta adjust my chair here. CU2, they said he was 43. 43 had no ties to the college. All right, y'all. So I'm going to read this real quick. It's from the Detroit Free Press, and it just says that Michigan State University was swarmed with police, ambulances, in fear Monday night as an active shooter situation unfolded, with officials reporting 3 people dead and 5 others injured. So like I said, keep all of those in your prayers. That is so sad. So the school sent an alert at 8:31 telling students to run, hide, and fight with a report of shots fired on the school's East Lansing campus. So here's what we know. And this is kind of long, so I'm probably not going to read all of it. But just kind of skim through. Let's see, this is a breaking news report, and we will update, which is probably what they've done. It just kind of updated it as they went. But it says in the early morning hours of Tuesday, as a campus that had just had hours before been filled with shots, sprinting, and gunfire fell relatively quiet. Leaders looked to what follows an attack and the killings at the place of learning. Speakers not long before 2 a.m. at a news conference, interim Michigan State University President Teresa Woodruff said the school would move to emergency operations for 2 days, which they did say that classes, all school activities, sports activities, everything would be canceled for 48 hours. Let's see. So the time is intended for students, staff, and faculty to think and grieve and be together after a day of shock and heartbreak. We were devastated at the loss of life, she said. Our campus grieves, and we will all grieve. We will not change. We will change over time. We cannot allow this to continue to happen again. Let's just see where it's. American school terrorism policies are in Australia. We have a safe room or zone that every class has to gather in. Yeah, here, well, just remembering back in school, whenever I was in school, the only thing that we had drills for was a fire drill and a tornado drill. Uh, because you didn't hear school shootings back then. So there wasn't,
And a nuclear bomb.
I don't think we even like had
That's because
any
you're
type of a
you're
drill
not
for
old
that.
enough. You're not old enough.
I mean, we had, the fire drill and the tornado drill, and that was it. There was no uh, like special room to go into. There was uh, like nothing like that. It was just those two. The tornadoes coming, you run out in the hall, or if you have time and you get in a line and you put your head down, and if you don't have time, you get under your desk. If it's
Well,
a fire, you line up and you all single file go outside to a designated area for your grade. But that's all
remember,
we had
I'm
to
old
do.
enough that I remember when JFK was shot and they sent the kids home from school.
Oh wow. Yeah, here that we ordered a bulletproof. Oh wait, little baby, I remember you telling us about that y'all had to order that for her. That's crazy. Like that is just you have to start sending your kids to school with a bulletproof backpack. So
Oh
let's
no, that's not a half bad idea.
no, but it is it's crazy whenever it gets to that point though. That like you have to send your kids to school with something like that.
No, I bet you
Uh
there's a lot of college students today that wish they had one.
yeah, that is true. We had nuke drills. Oh wow, see you later said that they remember the nuke drills.
There you go.
Yeah, I we never had those.
Well, we never had tornado drills either, but
Yeah. Let's see. Now in Kansas, they still have the nuclear signs. Back in the 50s, they had duck and cover. See, our schools never had any type of shelters or anything. Now, like we had in my elementary school, we had the classrooms that were trailers, like the gray metal buildings. And if there was a tornado drill or even bad weather, they would move us to the main building.
I
But
was going to say you didn't want to stay your butt in a trailer.
yeah, there was probably 20 because it was like the main elementary school of the parish, and there was only 3 elementary schools in the entire parish, but it was like the main one. And so it was a big school, and they would anytime bad weather was coming, they would just move us to the main building and let us watch a movie. Let's see, a few years. Yeah, see, Jesse Cats, we never had because we don't get earthquakes down here, so we never had anything to do with earthquakes either. Let's see. Did I miss somebody? I don't see Sweet Candy. Sweet Candy, how are you? I remember that my birthday is on that day. Okay. All right, let me get back into this. Okay, so I'm just going to read this about the suspect. So, the suspect in the deadly Michigan State campus shooting, who later died at a Lansing location, was a 43-year-old man, Michigan State University interim deputy police chief Chris Rosman said in a news conference at 1:40 a.m. He was not affiliated with the university, Rosman said, and they don't know why he came to MSU. Rosman previously said that to his knowledge, the school had not received threats in the preceding days. A suspect was alive and contacted by police before he unalived himself, police said. Various searches of places related to the suspect are going on. Uh, so I'm sure that would be their house, like somebody else said. No telling if he had like multiple houses. parents' house. Let's see. So the person suspected in the Michigan State campus shooting that killed 3 and injured 5 others are dead. So they did confirm that after midnight. The individual was found. Wait, is this the same thing? No. All right, so the individual was found off of East Lansing University's campus and appeared to have died of a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Police have still been seeking the individual as of prior 11 p.m. news conference, and shortly thereafter released surveillance images of the individual. So they did finally confirm it. I think this was a targeted killer, not just a rando. But I wonder why he went there, though. Like, if he had no affiliation with it. Like,
Not unless he was
just
a jilted lover or something of a professor or
something. Like, I don't know. It may come out in a couple of days. You know, if he had anything to do with any of the professors or any of the kids or whatever. Okay. All right, so it just says
what are Apple tags?
I don't know. I don't mess with Apple products. Jen, what is that, an Apple tag? I've seen other people talk about them, but I've never. I'm only an Android person, so okay. White Widow Baby said it's a tracker.
Well, me too. I don't do fruits, you know. It's a tracker.
A little bit tracks. Okay. Huh.
It's not really a bad idea either.
See, Apple tags or GPS are very small. That may be my daughter's boyfriend. They're like little square things that you can put like on a keychain or something like that. Because my daughter's boyfriend, he had. I remember there's something that was to do with Apple products or whatever. He had like 4 on his keychain. You can attach your car keys, dog collars, etc. to track. Oh, okay.
So what if you don't have an Apple computer? Don't work?
I don't know. It probably wouldn't work with an Android device. Put them in the tongues of my kids' shoes. That's not a bad idea either. I mean, if you can keep up with your kids, then it's once again it's a shame that people have to do that, but it's better to be safe than sorry. It won't work with the Android project. So I wonder if
I'll tell
Android
you
has
what.
something like that.
If I was 20 in my early 20s and having children right now,
Uh-huh.
I would have a tracker on a tracker. That's how crazy I think the world is.
Yeah, I mean, like Jen says, she's glad she's not crazy for thinking about it. I mean, you got to keep your kids safe. You got to do what you got to do, and so no, it's not a bad idea.
No, you're not crazy, Jen, because it's too late to think of after.
Yeah, and it's not the parents that are crazy for doing it or crazy for thinking about it. It's the people that do the things that make the parents have to do that to keep their kids safe that are
Yeah, but
crazy.
the sad part is you just can't put it like, say, on the tongues of their shoes or in their backpack or something. You have to kind of put it all over the place because people will say, well, ditch that kid's backpack because he's probably got a tracker on it, or
Right.
you know what I mean? It's too bad when it's too late.
Right. And Simple Butterfly, even like the early 90s, wasn't as bad as what it is now. Like when I was 12, 13, 14 in middle school, even into high school, like I walked to the bus stop by myself. And it wasn't that bad. Stand my helicopter, mom, no shame. Yeah, there's people around here that just let their kids just go do whatever they want. Like there's a little town not far from here, and you can drive through it, and there's like just 8, 9, 10-year-old kids walking up and down the road going to the store by themselves. It's just People don't even watch their kids.
Mm.
I don't even allow the bus. Mine didn't ride the bus either. I took him to school and picked him up. I
You
mean,
want
I
to
don't.
talk? You
Oh,
want to talk on the internet? Oh, my dog wants to talk on the internet.
oh, okay. Let's try this differently. A lucky country formed by convicts is still less crime than the USA. Yeah, I mean, my thing was like, if it would have been the school bus driver that I had when I went to school here, when I was in high school here, I would have let my kids probably ride the bus. But I don't know if these drivers have been drinking or what they've been doing on their off time and all that. Like, I don't, you know, much rather just get them up and get them in a car and take them myself and go back and pick them up.
How far away from the school were you?
From when my kids were in school, the elementary school was 5 minutes.
No.
It's literally, yeah, it's maybe uh I would say 5 miles from here. It took me 5 minutes to get there. Um, Now I didn't go to that elementary school, but the high school that I went to here, whenever which where I live right now is right down the road from where I lived when I was in high school, and it was 10 minutes from the house.
White widow baby's going a little bit over the edge here, I think.
I can't do a background check on you. I don't want you near my I mean, I can't blame her though, seriously. Like, you don't know there's creepy ass people in this world. Like,
Well,
it's
yeah, that's
and
like
it,
with all this crime thing. They, like it gets brought up about uh, sexual offenders and
mm,
whatever, and people say, "Well, what are they doing in my neighborhood? Where do you think they go?" I mean, when they're let
right.
out of jail, I mean, they got to go somewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
But
I took a Uber. It was a Tesla. When got to destination, no door, no see, I'd have had a fit right then and there, Prosser gang. And that's another thing that y'all like people need to watch out. If you ride in an Uber or anything like that, a lot of these cars, I think most all cars, have child safety locks on the back door where you can open it from the outside, but once you get in and shut it, even if the door is unlocked, you can't open it from the inside.
hi, Milo.
So that's very like you can get in somebody's car and they can just have you trapped in the back seat. He just come in here to get loved on. That's all he's doing.
I don't know. I just think, like you said, the world's just gone nuts.
It's gone. It's almost like it's a full moon constantly. It's just
Yeah, constantly.
crazy,
There you go.
just just weird shit going on. I think honestly, investing myself more into true crime as a parent. You said yes. Wait, what about? I told my daughter that because she'll go out of town. I'll be like, if you go somewhere, you don't go without your boyfriend. You know, you're even though she's 20 years old, like you don't go anywhere by yourself. And she'll tell me, "Oh, it'll be fine." Always, and I'm just like, "No, you don't understand. Like, I've seen shit. I know stuff that goes on in the world. You know, you're 20 years old and you think you know everything, and
Well,
you have no
just those
clue."
simple, what do you call them? Those people. Oh, I'm going to find the real name for this so I don't. Those things you could smash a window to get out if you go in the lake.
Oh, the window breakers.
Yeah. Start
Yeah,
carrying one of those in your pocketbook. People will think twice about unlocking the door for you.
yeah, because I mean that's a dangerous situation. You get into somebody's car, even if it's like an Uber or something like that, and then you don't check the child safety lock, and it's on, and then you can't get out of the car once you
I'll
shut
get
the
in the
door.
truck with my brother. I'll get my brother will pick me up to go somewhere, and if I go in the truck with him, and the minute he starts putting it in gear, that those doors lock. And boy, when I
Yeah,
realize that when I'm getting out, I go freaking bug shit because it's
yeah.
like,
My
let
truck will
me
do that.
out.
My truck does that, and it won't unlock until you put it back in the park. before the door. Like you can manually unlock the doors, but
I show my gun to the driver. That's even better.
let's see. You do backgrounds on people and you see yeah, exactly like little baby. Like as much crap as we've seen happen in this world just following these true crime cases. And that's what I tell my daughter. Like I see crazy shit that goes on. Uh, just from these cases, like anything can happen and you don't think that it possibly could.
Well, just tell her either you listen to me or you're not getting your eggnog cheesecake.
She does make it herself.
No, that's no good then.
I mean, she for the most part, she listens because she knows that me and her daddy's always right. So for the most part, she listens, but she still wants to be hard headed. And I've even told her about if she goes somewhere, don't leave her drink sitting down, which she doesn't drink, but just even at a restaurant, like don't get up like and leave your drink unattended because somebody can just walk by and drop something in it and you would never know it. Molly, happy Valentine's Day to you too. We see the dark and scary. Yes, Jesse Katz. Like there's things that just like I said, just following these true crime cases that you wouldn't even think that is even remotely possible to happen.
Well,
And then
speaking about true crime,
uh-huh.
I don't remember names, hon, but what's the name of that guy that the girl took pictures of him crossing a bridge?
Girl took pictures of him crossing a bridge.
Remember there was one or two girls and
Oh, the Delphi case.
yeah, whatever
Yeah.
happened there? Anything?
They arrested the guy. They
Yeah, I
looking
got
for him.
that.
Like the guy was basically just in plain sight. Uh,
Right,
but
but did they ever have his court thing?
I don't. Has he ever went to court yet, y'all? I haven't even been keeping up with it. See, it's the anniversary of that today too. Oh wow. Let's see. I don't know if he's ever went to court yet.
So that one hasn't gone to court. Trinity, we still don't have a clue.
No.
Kylie Rodney's up in the air.
Yep.
Boy, we haven't come to any good answers about nothing. Looks like BK might win them all.
Probably be. Well, the Lori Vallow stuff. They're going to be going to court here soon. So, hey, must have got lost. How are you? So hopefully something good comes out of that for those kids.
And we never got to the bottom totally of that. Oh, what's that young man that was ranching or something?
Oh, Dylan Rounds. They
Yeah,
still haven't found him
probably.
either. Yep. Still nothing. Like there is that one YouTube channel that they go out every day looking for him, but they still hadn't found anything. See, yesterday was the 13th, and I'd simple butterfly. I was thinking about that earlier, because like I said, on the 13th was my dad's birthday, and I was thinking, it marks 3 months since the Idaho 4 stuff happened, and it's crazy. Delphi has a hearing February the 17th at 10. Thank you, Dale. Foster King. I don't know, yeah. Like it seems like it's been a constant full moon the past several months. Just all this crazy stuff is just. There's no need for it. There's no sense in it.
Now we're going to go down some memory lane here.
Okay.
So Vincent, we got to that little kid. They got to the bottom of that.
Wait, which one?
The one that was Remember the mother and the daughter lived together, and the
Oh,
mother
Quentin
was.
Simon.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
said Vincent. I was
yeah,
close. And there was one more I was thinking of.
yeah. They've got his mom, Leilani. She's in jail.
They got the child found in a suitcase. Now they got who that was, right?
Yeah, I think they did finally figure out who that was. I think they were looking for his mama.
Yeah, they finally figured out who his mom and dad were. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. They the last thing I heard on that, that was the little boy that was in the Las Vegas suitcase, and they ended up burying him. They actually got him a headstone and all that. Like the people in the community bought him a headstone, and just put, I think it was like uh, the boy with no name or something like that. And then they ended up finding out who his mama was, and I think they're looking for her now. A classic and Sincere's case is going to trial very soon. Yeah, they never have found them babies either.
No, they got the girl. They got the girl that they. I think it's the girl they're looking at because the foster parents has reported it in a few times, and they never found the girl, but they found the parents whose house got on fire. But something about the kids are with them, but not this girl that's missing.
I don't know about that one.
Yes, you do. I'm just not saying it right. Come on, little baby. You always got the answers to help me out here. Remember, the kid was in foster care,
Okay.
and the 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 little girl, the parents got the little girl back, and there was an issue of whether she was getting her medication or not. And then when they asked the sister, "Where's your this girl?" They said, "Oh, she's at Grandpa and Grandma's," which Grandma and Grandpa hasn't seen her in almost a year. And
Where did this happen at? Hey, Anthony, how are you? Do you remember what state this happened in?
no, if I remember that, I'd remember the whole story.
Jesse Cat says this is the one in Oklahoma.
Didn't the house catch on fire not too long ago?
I don't guess I remember this one.
Maybe a fire that started, unless I'm getting them mixed up, a fire that started with a microwave, maybe.
I
Hmm.
don't know. I must not have. I don't guess I remember that one.
No, we've never been able to find that little girl either. Whatever it is, it'll come to everybody. Oh,
Uh, is it Athena? Is that her name? Is that the one you're
I'm
talking
not
about?
sure. I'm not sure. She was a little girl with black hair, and it looked like she had ponytails on each side of her head or something.
Is that the
Cute little girl.
oh, what is her name? Oh shit. Let me is is it Athena Brownfield?
Maybe. Was
But
she in foster care?
what is
Was she
was
in
I have no Oakley. That's the name Wood Chipper put it. That's the little girl. I was trying to think of her name and I couldn't think of it. Um, was she in foster care? Was Oakley in it? Let's see. B Fly, how are you?
Yeah, B-Fly wants to know if we're listening to the
Yeah,
Michigan stuff.
no, I'm not listening to it. I'm just trying to keep up with like all the new stuff that's coming out. But I didn't follow Oakley's case either. I just remember kind of hearing about it here and there. Um, the Althena one, I remember she came out like right after um, the little girl that was in Texas that the FedEx dude took. See you too. Have a good
Mm,
night. Her name was Athena too.
no, I don't think it was that case of the
Um,
UPS. But
But the Althena Brownfield one, I think, came out right after, or not long after the Athena Strand. Because I remember I was like, oh well, like she's got a name that's almost like the Athena Strand little girl. But she was taken by the guy, the FedEx driver, and um, he did some really bad things to that little girl before they found her. So I hope the state of Texas fries his ass.
Yeah, some night we're gonna have to just make a list of all these
Yeah.
unresolved.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
the Athena Strand one, it'll like they got the guy. He actually confessed to it and everything. So I'm pretty sure they'll be going because Texas is a huge death penalty state. I'm pretty sure they'll be going after the death penalty with him. But um, the Athena Brownfield one, I've heard about it, but really haven't followed it. Uh, Followed some on Summers, like I said the other night, like the one person that I was listening to throughout that whole case, kind of find out was a complete shit show. Um, the Oakley case, I remember hearing about it, but never followed it either.
well, we had a lull in the conversation. I thought
But I don't
we.
the one that you're talking about the little girl in the foster care though, it could be one of those that they were mentioning. And then I did hear um, little Harmony Montgomery, her daddy ended up getting charged with her murder.
Yeah, they want to say the case I'm thinking of with that little girl was there is some sort of insinuation or strong evidence or whatever you want to call it that
Uh-huh.
the natural parents who got custody back of this little girl are actually some sort of druggies or something of
I'm
some sort.
trying to think. Trying to think if I've heard about it, but I don't guess I have.
Yeah. Hey,
Uh, let's see. I'm still with Summer or something. Lori, I hope so because it's coming up in a few months. It'll be 2 years. Oakley, Carlson, Gray Harbor County, Washington, same county as Lindsay. Oh, okay. Yeah, I remember seeing little Oakley that, and when she said the dark hair and all that, that's who I was trying to remember her name. I knew it was like a different name. I was trying to think of it. All right, y'all. I think I'm
yeah,
fixing it.
the foster mom was, I thought, some sort of teacher, if I remember it right.
So would that be the Oakley Carlson? Prosser gang, have a good night. They never found Lena. Oh, yeah, that is true. They didn't find her either. I forgot about her. She was a cute little girl, too.
Yeah. So still no news on that shooter, huh?
No, just the one that I was just reading a few minutes ago. That was the last update. I'm pretty sure there won't be anything new until the press conference in the morning. I think they said at 8 o'clock Eastern time in the morning. It'll be the next press conference.
Well, it's going to be a long night for whomever is related to that shooter if they find out who the family members are.
Yep. Oh yeah, because it did say on the article that I was just reading that they're in the process of searching his places. So, and somebody did mention that they thought they had heard that they were searching his house and all that.
Yeah.
So I'm sure any house that he's affiliated with, his parents, siblings,
Yeah.
anything like that, they're probably going to be
Well,
going through searching this guy's
just like
family's
we
house.
said before, Eastern Standard Time, it's not quite 4 a.m. So technically, they're going to use that time up until morning as much as they can to get as many answers as they can.
Yeah. Yep, because if they start taking questions at the 8 o'clock press conference, which the first one they did at 11, they didn't take questions. I don't know if they took questions at the second one, but I'm sure by the 8 o'clock one, I'm sure media is going to want to ask questions. So they're probably going to try to get as much information on this person as they can before that press conference.
Exactly. Because
So,
if this would have happened at noontime, the press would have been right down their throat
exactly.
about all this stuff.
Carrie, no, there hadn't been an update on Summer. I wish there was, but that's that whole case is just a sad one. All right, y'all. I think I'm just gonna end it here. I'm getting tired.
Well, I'm going to go before you end it because
Okay.
it's only polite that I leave first.
Okay.
And you say your bye-byes, and I'll see you another time.
Okay. Have a good night.
Bye-bye.
All right. Bye. All right, y'all. I'm just gonna go ahead and get out of here. Just like I said, if you haven't subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe. Hit the thumbs up on your way out if you haven't done that yet. Keep these families in your prayers of all these victims, 3 that lost their lives, the 5 that's in the hospital in critical condition. So keep all their, friends and family in your prayers. Hopefully we'll find out some more information on it tomorrow. So I love you all. Thank you all for coming and hanging out. Wait, is it King Scarlett's birthday? Oh, hers is the 15th. Okay. I was about to say now. I was gonna have to wait and say happy birthday. So, all right, I'm writing that down, King Scarlet. That tomorrow is your birthday. February 15th birthday. All right, I'm writing it down so I don't forget. All right, y'all. I'm out of here. Thank you all for coming and hanging out with us. I love you all. I hope you all have a wonderful night, and I will talk to y'all next time.